17 teams, 6 months, 186 games, and it all leads to tonight. Game 1 of the MASL Championships right here at Royal Farms Arena. Gary Stein, my broadcast partner Paul Mittermeier, Andrew Primrose, and glad to be joined by Owner of the Year in the MASL, Carl Delmont, good friend. And Carl, welcome in. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
But I do want to talk to you for MASL Championship purposes about your first round series against the Blast. You guys had them on the ropes. Blast, of course, playing Sonora tonight, and you guys were winning 3-0 in that game, game 2, and then the Blast finally was able to pull away. What happened in that series that the Blast just keep doing over and over again?
If you beat the Blast at home and they have to come back to your house, you think you have a leg up. But as I told you during that halftime, it was 4-1. I said if there was 5 minutes left in the game, I wouldn't feel comfortable against Baltimore. They have the experience, and look, when you get to the postseason, I don't care what sport you're in. If you have the experience, you've been here before. They're quality guys. They know what to do to win. Look at the game that they had against Milwaukee. I mean, they didn't have possession, but they scored where they needed to, and that's what winners do.
Carl, you've been a great supporter of soccer. Talk about making the leap from supporter to owner itself, and kind of what you expected as an owner and kind of what it really was for you in your first year in Harrisburg.
Yeah, I mean, what I expected was my mantra for the whole front office was, we don't know, we don't know. So that kind of helped because there were a lot of times, and we had a meeting the other day with Nikki and my front office and Todd, and I said it was kind of cool because there were a lot of problems behind the scenes, but no one really knew because we were able to fix these things. But now that we have a season under our belt, we kind of know what to expect. And, next year hopefully be a few less surprises, but, we're working on game plans and some other things. Hopefully we get the front office a few more people in there. We did a job of 12 with 3 people, and that's why this award means so much, because it really goes out to the whole front office, 3 of us. But.
So Organization of the Year, you guys won the playoff game here in Baltimore. What does Sonora need to do tonight to win a game in Baltimore in the playoffs?
Well, I think it's a little different with Sonora. I mean, if they lose tonight, they have 2 games at home, and like most teams, there's a little bit of advantage to their field. And I think that can help them a little bit. If I was Sonora and didn't win tonight, I don't know that I would fret all that much. But if they do win tonight and you're Baltimore, then I think, okay, wow. But you know what? If I'm Baltimore, I think, well, you know what? We were in the same boat last year and we still won. So I think all that being stated, I think, it's going to be a really, really good matchup. What's interesting is that when you watch all these other teams, you look at the Blast style. Like, just for example, like the Blast had 3 targets, all 3 different styles. Vinny is not Hoxie, Hoxie is not Lucas. But you look at some other teams, and they usually have like 2 targets, and they're almost mirror images. Other teams play a lot of, like Sonora does, it's fast. When I watched the game against San Diego, they were on the short end of the power play, but it didn't look like it because they're running all around the field. So, I mean, they got a lot of speed, and, let's see what happens. I think it's going to be a great series, and I'm looking forward to having a great seat to watch it.
Well, this league is set up right now where the Eastern Division teams and the Eastern Conference teams don't play much against the West, and then obviously the same way around, except when the playoffs come around. Do you think that's a good thing? Like, does that leave some suspense for the championship round, considering the fact that Sonora and Baltimore have never played in the regular season, but now they played each other twice in the postseason?
I mean, from a fiscal standpoint, it's nice, but I think as the league grows and everything else, and we start as the league growing with more profit and everything else, maybe there's a way we can start doing some more of these games. As Josh alluded to in the press conference the other day, we're going to try to do some more friendlies, Brazil versus Mexico, U.S. versus Canada. And I think all those things will be a good way to get more people interested in the game, because what I found in Harrisburg is that talking to people who've never been to a game, they get addicted very quickly. And I think if we can do that, we can expand the fan base and get more and more people coming. But would I love to go and play, like, say, San Diego or Tacoma? Yeah, I'd like to do that. But, we need to get more fans in the seats, make some more money before we can put that in our budget.
Carl, really appreciate the time, and we're looking for great things from you guys in Harrisburg for the years to come. And congratulations to you. We need to mention as well, Dennis and Cabral, your whole coaching staff, as being Dennis the coach of the year as well. You guys did a great job in Harrisburg this year.
Yeah, thank you. And, of course, to Tiago for rookie first team and Steven Basso for first team and also defender of the year. So it felt kind of weird. We went to your press conference. We kind of crashed the party and walked away. But I'm proud of the guys and I'm proud of our team. And I look forward to watching these 2 great teams and organizations face each other. And I think the fans are in for a good treat.
We're live from the First Mariner, or I should say the Royal Farms Arena here in downtown Baltimore. Wow, that was pretty slick. It's game 1, Sonora, Solis de Sonora against the Baltimore Blast. We'll take a timeout here. We'll come back with the owner of Sonora and talk about how that franchise was built when the pregame show continues on MASL Championship Night. Welcome back to the pregame show, game one tonight of the MASL Championship. Gary Stein, along with my broadcast partner, Paul Mittermeier, joined by Roger Cota, the owner of Soles de Sonora. Congratulations, my friend. 2 years in a row. Tell us about your team, and welcome to Baltimore.
Thank you, Gary. Yes, we have a great team. 2 years in a row in the final, we will win this. We are happy to be here. I have to say, I really love Baltimore. I enjoy the Edgar Allan Poe stories. It's a very gothic city. And I love this. I love the environment. But today, these stories of Edgar Allan Poe will be the nightmare of Baltimore Blast.
Roger, talk to me about Sonora. We saw the game in Sonora last year. The fans down there, they get behind you so much. Talk about the relationship with the team and the fans and kind of what it means to you guys.
No, the fans there have really heart. They are passionate. They have feelings. They love soccer. Our arena there, the CUM, is a small one, but it's like a Coliseum, like a Roman Coliseum, and the people get, we want to win, It's a very, very, very hot environment there.
Roger, I was looking on your roster. You brought back 12 of the same players who played last year for Sonora are back this year to play Baltimore. Can you talk about the importance of continuity and stability as you build a team?
Yes, we build this project with the feeling of have the best players available in Mexico. And we are looking the best in all the country. We are looking the best here in USA. And we have 20, 25 players with good skills. I like the continuity of the project. I like the discipline. Organization is based on be a team, no individuality. So the guys have experience. The first year we were rookies, and right now we are prepared for be champions.
Roger, sometimes it's very difficult to get to a championship and lose, and that could be a tough thing for teams. Talk to me, we know what happened here, but talk to me what happened in Sonora after that game last year and kind of the process of making sure you returned and that being the goal for this season.
Yes, well, I have to tell you, it's hard. It's hard to lose, but that experience make us stronger, and right now we are prepared to be champions. We have a great team, we have a good staff, we have a good fans, and we are do what we have to do to take this championship.
Roger, what do you think Sonora needs to do tonight to beat Baltimore?
They need to be technical game, strategy, be in order all the time, and take the heart off to win this game because it's very important. I want to see you today saying the tic-tac-toe goal front to you. No?
For you?
For me?
Gotcha.
Of course.
Okay.
No?
Roger Cota, thank you so much. We really
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you,
Roger,
Paul.
We'll
Thank
take
you.
a time
Thank
out
you.
here. Our last segment coming up will be Kevin Healy, president of the Blast, talk about how the Blast was built as Baltimore takes on Sonora, game one of the MASL Championship. Back at you from Royal Farms Arena, game one of the MASL Championship coming up between Soles de Sonora and the Baltimore Blast, the second consecutive year that these two teams have played. Gary Stein, Paul Mittermeier, Kevin Healy, the president of the Blast. And Kevin, let's follow right up where we left off with Roger, talking about how he and they had built that franchise. You guys have had a long history now, going for your 9th championship all time. What's your philosophy? How have you built this team?
Well, it's the same as what we talked about. We talk about continuity of our team, keeping our veterans around, finding good young talent, and trying to find a veteran who's hungry to win. So we followed that this year. You know, we bring back William Vanzella, we bring back Adrian Dos Santos, we got Tony Donatelli, Lucas Roque, Andrew Hotze, Vinny Dantas. We look for, and they did, Jonathan Mello, Juan Pereira, Jeremy Reilly, Gaetan Caldebiano to continue to improve and take that next step, and that's what they did. We look to bring in some young players, Elton De Oliveira, Josh Hughes, Travis Pittman, who played in the year, Jamie Thomas, Jordan Becker, things like that. And then we went out and got Nelson Santana, who was going to be the help replace Pat retiring at that point in time.
Talk about the heart of this team. Sometimes it's not pretty. I talked to David Bascom about this. Sometimes it's kind of ugly, but you guys find a way to win. And you've gone through the last two playoffs. Last year, it were all close games, Syracuse, and even the championship game. And then this year, you go to golden goal or mini games in both the series to get to the championship. But yet, this team finds a way to win games.
They find a way to win. They refuse to lose games. And, how do you do that? One, you're not afraid of the situation. Two, you prepare. Our team prepare. We have a nucleus of players that absolutely know how to win. Knowing how to win is preparation, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, knowing the other team's strengths and weaknesses, watching videos. We got players on our team that watch an unbelievable amount of video, knowing the other team's free kicks, their tendencies, and what's going on. And then once again, going back to having that heart and desire and the composure on the field, and also being able to bring the young players along, knowing that it's their job to win the game and not putting too much pressure on the young players.
Kevin, Sonora and Baltimore have never played in the regular season. The only times they have played have been in the postseason. It's a battle of East versus West, but it's also a battle of offense versus defense. They're the number one scoring team in the league. You're the number one defensive team in the league. How do you feel about, is there a yin and a yang between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference like that?
Not so much East and West. I think it's between teams and coaching styles and coaching philosophies. But there's definitely that rivalry. You don't get to see Sonora all the time, but we're fighting to be the best team and the best organization. And make no mistake about it, there's a lot of good organizations in this league, but Sonora is an elite organization. Elite on the field, elite off the field. We have a tremendous amount of respect for them, and we're fighting to be the best. And while we respect each other, the two organizations really want to win this ball game tonight.
Having an impressive league press conference yesterday at Costa Center here in Baltimore. One of the announcements yesterday was expansion, and the big announcement, really, a major market in Canada. Toronto comes into the league. Talk about that expansion and that importance of getting into some of the major markets and making that impact.
First, it's the right, not only right major market, but the right ownership group and the right management. You got to bring people in who are ready to understand the business part of it, look to compete on the field, but compete off the field too. I think bringing Toronto in was outstanding. They're doing their homework too. They're not coming in this year. They're coming in the following year. So they're at the game tonight. So it's a great group to bring in, and you open it up once again to, we were in Canada. We had Joey Saputo, MLS owner, as an owner of an indoor team in this league. We were in Toronto. We were in Edmonton. We were in big facilities up there. We can expand into Canada as well as continue to expand in Mexico and across the United States. But you got to get the right people, and we got the right people in Toronto.
Kevin, got about a minute left. What do the Blast need to do to win this championship?
I think to win the championship, we have to do what we do, which is, prepare for the high intensity that Sonora is going to bring. They're a good soccer team. They're technically very good. They shoot the ball unbelievable. So we got to be ready to block shots, keep the ball in what we're doing, break the pressure. When we break the pressure, can we score right away? If not, keep them on the field. All the things that we do all year. You got to win the free kick battle. You got to win the power play battle and things like that. So I know we're prepared and we're ready to go.
Congratulations on getting here. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That'll do it for our pregame show here from the Royal Farms Arena. And we'll take a time out here and come back with our starting lineups, opening kickoff, national anthem from Baltimore when we return.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Royal Farms Arena for Game 1 of the NASL Championship Series between the visiting Soleil State Sonora and your Baltimore Blast. Right now, let's meet the visiting Soleil State Sonora. Defender number 3, Damian Garcia. Defender number 4, Roberto Escalante. Defender number 5, Victor Baez. Midfielder number 6, Gustavo Rosales. Midfielder number 7, Christian Segura. Midfielder number 8, Francisco Doran. Forward number 9, Enrique Canez. Midfielder number 10, Daniel Lopez. Midfielder number 12, Eric Rosas. Forward number 13, Alejandro Leva. Defender number 14, Raimundo Contreras. Forward number 15, Frank Tayo. Midfielder number 20, Mauricio Salas. Goalkeeper number 30, Diego Reynosa. Midfielder number 63, Iram Ruiz. And now, the assistant coaches of Soleil State Sonora, Walter Palacios, Octavio Serrano, and Regilio Cota. And the head coach of the visiting Soleil State Sonora, Luis Jaime Borrego.
Another save! Chance now! Towards the goal line, Williams! There it is. He scores! Baltimore wins the game! Williams makes the play!
3-0 Missouri.
Oh! No! It's in there! Great save. It's in the net. Watch, it's in there. Look at this. Levy with a shot. Scores. 7-4 is the final.
Botallú busca el disparo. Bien la tapada por parte de Barcelona. Bien disparo una vez más. Mosquez francés. Roji con la pelota. Obasi, el gol. Gol de Baltimore. Arranca la muerte súbita. El tiempo de muerte súbita son 10 minutos. Pero realmente se va a jugar hasta que alguien anote gol. Pase lo que pase. Viene Henry con la pelota. Recordemos que haciendo la corrección. Sonora está jugando por un jugador menos porque el tiempo extra del juego se mantiene como si fuera este partido, por eso que la suspensión sigue siendo igual para el equipo de Baltimore. ¡Dispara el gol! ¡Gol! Y el Baltimore Blast es campeón de la Major Arena Soccer League.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
Are you ready for MASL Championship Soccer? It's time to meet the defending MASL champion, Baltimore Blast. Leading the team out tonight, please welcome the Ravens mascot, Paul. Starting in goal this evening, number 0, William Vancella. Forward, number 4, Andrew Hoxie. Defender, welcome back to the Blast lineup, number 6, Josh Hughes. Forward, number 8, Lucas Roque. Starting on defense, number 9, Pat Healy. Starting in midfield, your Blast captain, number 11, Tony Donatelli. Defender, number 12, Adriano Dos Santos. Starting on defense, number 13, Jeremy Reilly. Midfielder, number 18, Travis Pittman. Starting it forward, number 22, Juwan Pereira. Midfielder, number 23, Jonathan Mello. Forward, number 25, Daniel Peruzzi. Starting at forward, number 28, Vinny Dantas. Defender, number 78, Nelson Santana. Midfielder, number 80, Gaetan Caltapiano. And now your Blast coaches, the assistant coach of your Baltimore Blast, David Bascom. And the head coach of your Baltimore Blast, Danny Kelly. There they are, Blast fans, your defending MASL champion, Baltimore Blast. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask you to please rise for the playing of the Mexican National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of America the Beautiful, performed tonight by the Girl Scouts of Central Maryland Chorus. And now to sing God Bless America, please welcome the Thomas Johnson Elementary and Middle Schools. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please remain standing. And gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by the Winand Elementary School. Fans, right now, please check out Blast Vision for tonight's starting lineup. Brought to you by Rosedale Roofing. Your Baltimore Blast starting on defense, number 13, Jeremy Rayleigh. On defense, number 9, Pat Healy. Starting at midfield, number 11, Tony Donatelli. Starting at forward, number 22, Jawan Pereira. Starting at forward, number 28, Vinny Duntumps. And starting in goal this evening, number 0, William Van Sella. It's time for the keys to tonight's game. Brought to you by Red Mason.
The game-winning goal in the mini-game against Milwaukee to get the Blast here tonight. Keys to the game, obviously, for the Blast. Handle the intensity of championship final. You think Sonora's coming out here? They want a little bit of revenge from last season. You have to be able to limit their offense and what they're able to do. Frank Tyler's been incredible for them, and you have to limit what he can do. Here in Baltimore last year in the championship series, he scored the first goal, but then really wasn't a factor after that here in Baltimore. And as always, we talk about this all the time, free kicks and power plays. Last year in the championship series, Sonora was 3 for 3 on the power play. The Blast has to be disciplined and stay out of the box against this explosive offense for Sonora.
Sonora does have an explosive offense. They led the league in goals, 11.5 per game, 230 for the season. The Blast led the league in least goals allowed, just 3.5 per game, 69 over 20 games. In fact, it's the second time in 2 seasons, back-to-back seasons, that both Sonora has led the league in goals and the Blast have led the league in least goals. And Andrew Primrose down in the box, the big reason for the Blast that had the fact that they've led the league in least goals allowed is their goalkeeper, William Vanzella, who has played in 28 career playoff games. His record is 22-6, and he brings that mark into the game tonight.
Well, as always, Gary, your timing is impeccable. As we'll see here, the camera's going to switch here for a second, as we'll see Blast GM and President Kevin Healy getting ready to present an award to William Vanzella. And speaking of awards, William Vanzella listed as the second-team goaltender 2 years in a row now that's happened. And certainly is a homer here in Baltimore. I am watching every game that William plays. I think he is clearly the best goaltender in this league and plays a tier above. And he would be the first one to say that it's also a product of the defense that's in front of him. And having Nelson Santana and Pat Healy and Jeremy Rayleigh and, of course, Elton De Oliveira, who is now out, all those guys in front of him, and an entire team that plays defense in front of him, is really the secret.
And Paul, for Sonora, they bring a hot goalkeeper in of their own, Diego Reynoso, who actually has been the goalkeeper of record in what is going on now, the third consecutive championship series. Because remember, not only was he Sonora's goalkeeper last year, he was the winning goalkeeper for Monterey 2 years ago against the Blast.
That was one of the most incredible series I think I can remember in the indoor soccer game, in that series between Monterey and the Blast. Yeah, I got mass respect for him to play in that arena they play in and to face that pinball atmosphere night in and night out at home. And, he's taking it every night, and he's been great for Sonora, no question about it.
Diego Reynoso is 4-0 on the year in postseason play, a 733 saves percentage. His career mark in the postseason is 13-5 overall. He's won a championship with Monterey, but against the Blast last year, he was 0-2, and he gave up those 14 goals at home, including the overtime winner to Tony Donatelli as the Blast beat Sonora 14-13 in the final. Vanzella, as I mentioned, 22-6. 2-0 against Sonora last year and 848 goals against.
Let's talk about it for a second. Let's go back to last year, because what a great series that was, too. You look at the scoreboard, and the Blast won. It looks like they won comfortably here in Baltimore, but that was not the case. That was a 4-3 game. Yes. That was a 4-3 game and the Blast blew that game open in the third quarter, kind of gave themselves some breathing room. And then the game in Sonora, wow. 9 ties. It just went back and forth, and it was one of the best games of the season, and they did it right. And, luckily for the Blast, they came out on the winning end, but neither team had nothing to be ashamed of in that contest down there.
6 lead changes and 9 ties in that game, and I look back at the numbers, Paul and Andrew, and one of the things that I remembered about the series and really the playoffs in general was the Blast got goals from places that they didn't expect. They got goals from John Mello. They got goals from Levi Wapu. They got goals from Gaetan Caltabiano. It was a true team effort all throughout the playoffs that helped that win.
It was a 7-goal effort here at home and 6 different goal scorers.
A couple quick notes as we get to the kickoff. You'll notice the kickoff coming very late. Both teams would not come out of the locker rooms early, waiting for each other. And then, of course, the championship delays. So it's been almost 25 minutes. 30 minutes now since this game was these teams are supposed to be out.
Sonora will have the opening kickoff in black. The MASL championships are underway. Game 1 here at Royal Farms Arena. Blaster in red. Sonora goes with Garcia, Segura, Contreras, Tayu, and Ruiz. Reynoso is in goal. And for the Blast, it is Healy, Rayleigh, Donatelli, Pereira, and Dantas with Vanzella in goal. Sonora on the big field tonight. They get games 2 and, if necessary, game 3 at home in Sonora, Hermosillo, actually, on Sunday night. We'll give you more information on that. First shot taken by Victor Baez, blocked by the Blast defense at the yellow line, but Sonora still maintains control.
A battle of tempo tonight. Sonora wants to get up and down the field. The Blast want to control the pace. They want to possess and keep that high-powered offense of Sonora in check.
Blast coached by Danny Kelly, assisted by David Bascom. What a stellar record they have accumulated here in Baltimore. Here's a turnover now, and the Blast with an opportunity inside the box, and an over-the-back foul will be called on Sonora, and it'll give the Blast a first good restart opportunity.
Oh, really good restart opportunity to the left of Reynoso, right side of the box, and inside the restart arc. Real good chance here for the Blast.
And look how much the Sonora team packs the box in. They've got all 5 guys lined up. Well, let's see how it finishes up. But they've got all 5 guys basically forming a wall in front of the goalkeeper, leaving the flanks open. And the shot taken by Donatelli. And the rebound is caught by Reynoso. And a nice outlet here on the near side.
Well,
so they dodge a bullet.
First real good chance off the deflection, and Reynoso was up to the challenge there as the ball was headed towards the back of his net.
And then Frank Tayu on the way down for Sonora had a chance, but it was broken up by the Blast defense. The pace is quick here early, and now a foul called in the midfield. Looks like this one will be on Dantas. Tonight's officials include Shane Butler, Kyle Trimble, Bob Faraday, and the 4th official in the booth is Dustin Killick.
That's a pretty good first minute and a half of play, huh?
Both teams with chances.
Also important to note that, again, with the playoffs, there are goal line officials. So even though that one looked like it was floating close to the back line and maybe going over, we will have goal line officials in this game. So we should be good on any issues with the ball real close to the net, as we've seen here a couple times in the regular season. That hasn't gone the Blast way. But championship soccer will be able to see that.
Foul called on Mauricio Salas for Sonora. Salas, an interesting story, picked up in the middle of the season for the late season push by Sonora, and he has delivered for Soles de Sonora. Salas with 6 goals and 8 points in 4 playoff games. And he's definitely been an offensive force along with Tayu for Sonora. Salas gets a foot on the ball. Now they send it back to Reynoso. Blast come out with a line shift here. Andrew Hoxie will pressure the goalkeeper for the Blast inside the yellow line. Up ahead, Healy gets ahead on the ball, but it's won by Sonora in the midfield. 17-3 in the regular season, 34-6 over the last 2 years. They have the league's best record both years. That one just wide, caught William Vanzella by surprise, and Sonora maintains control.
A couple guys stopped playing. They thought there was going to be a handball called, and there was no call, and Sonora almost took advantage.
We've seen that here before.
Well, you got to keep playing. You can't stop.
Yeah, interesting calls here. So if you're the Blast, you know that you've learned that lesson in the first 2 playoff games here at home.
Nice cutoff by Rayleigh. Referee says play on as Vanzella gets caught up in a collision. Ball moves out towards midfield, and right now it's Sonora controlling the pace.
Nice job by Vanzella to come out, cut the angle down, and then just clear the zone and regroup.
Here's Canez, Enrique Canez, who had a great year for Sonora, off the boards. In the box, this one will be over the glass, and a goalkeeper distribution coming up for Vanzella.
And both teams will switch off strong here as the pace has been back and forth, so both teams will put a fresh 5 on and catch their breath.
Blast come back out with Lucas Roque, going to see his first action. Roque, of course, a big story in the Milwaukee series, missed the series after getting injured in Game 2 against Harrisburg. And he makes his first touch. Good one for Donatelli. And a sliding block by the Sonora defense prevents that one from getting on goal.
It was not a good clear by Sonora, and Roque able to take advantage and get a pass inside for Donatelli. And well-met touch there for Tony.
Nice ball by Hiram Ruiz, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's Ruiz on the assist, and Sonora breaks through early in Game 1.
Great play by Sonora to be able to play the ball up ahead. And then Vanzella kind of in no man's land there as the ball came into the offensive end. And just the chip we used to see Dennis and Cabral, and now coach of the Harrisburg Heat, be able to execute this play. And we see it there from Sonora to get on the board first here in the championship game.
A little bit of bad luck for William as he came out to cut out the angle, and the ball kind of bounced up a little bit on him before the chip, and he was unable to play with his hands out of the box. And really just a bad bounce for the Blast.
For Canez, Enrique Canez gets the goal. That is goal number 8 in game number 5. And the assist goes to Hiram Ruiz. That is assist number 3 and point number 6. Time of the goal, 3:24 the first. And it gives Soles de Sonora the lead, and now some more. Here's Tayu one-on-one. Oh, and a great save by Vanzella. And he covers up inside the box.
Oh, the first battle goes to Vanzella as the Blast able to win that ball initially, but then turn it back over. And Sonora takes advantage with an opportunity.
And not a great distribution by William.
And you don't want Frank Tayu alone on your keeper very often tonight.
Now Mauricio Salas pressuring Vanzella. The Blast having a bit of trouble moving it past midfield. Again, all Sonora early on in this game. Here's John Mello now on the receiving end. Has some room. That one broken up by Salas, who's been very active for Sonora early on.
What's been interesting is Sonora is keeping their playing style of keeping that point player forward and almost cherry picking, and it's worked out for them twice. And here we'll see if the Blast can capitalize on an odd man rush.
Juan Pereira with a drive, and he couldn't get it down. It'll be a distribution coming up for Reynoso. Good thought there by Pereira as he had a chance from midfield basically to run upfield and decided to take it himself.
He created 3-on-2. Sonora fanned out to guard the wings on the clear. And Pereira recognized that and understood that if he just moved forward, and I encourage the Blast to do that more, if he just moved forward, he's got an opportunity and an advantage Unfortunately for Jawan, he put it up into the seats.
The long legs of Frank Tayu trying to get by the defense. That's broken up by Jeremy Raley, who got the start here tonight for Danny Kelly.
What a big opportunity for him to step in. Elton De Oliveira started defense most of the year on the back line as the starter, out with injury, missed the postseason. He will not play tonight, in street clothes on the bench. And so Jeremy Raley stepping in huge shoes to fill in that back line next to all-world defender Pat Healy.
Nice run in the corner by Sonora. Ball picked up by Gustavo Rosales. Now tries to turn away from Donatelli. Less than 10 minutes to go in the first period. Sonora leads at 1-0 on an early goal by Enrique Cañez. And now back towards the keeper, Reynoso.
Lucas Roque moving real well early on in his first two shifts here, getting around very well. It was a lower leg injury that he suffered, and he does not look worse for the wear after his layoff.
Ball inside and a foul called on Caltabiano against the Blast in the midfield. Free kick Sonora now with 9:15 to play in the first quarter. This is the 10th championship series appearance for the Blast in 12 years under Danny Kelly. Blast have won 5 of the previous 9. They've only missed the playoffs one time in Kelly's tenure. And that was the second year of his tenure. They went 15-15 that year. Remember, Paul, they were 15-9 and looked like they were coasting to the playoffs and lost the last 6 games of the year.
No, just remarkable for the Blast to be in the championship series 7 straight seasons. It's an amazing accomplishment.
Ruiz now inside, little backflip by Eric Rosas to the corner. Venzela controls for the Blast, and now Blast will try to move it out. And again, some pressure here from Sonora. This is Roberto Escalante, one of the better defenders in the MASL, pressuring. And now Venzela up ahead, pokes it into the corner. Vinny Dantas, the league leader in the postseason in points with 13. And the ball goes over the boards. It'll be a free kick. Soles de Sonora.
A tough break on the distribution there. It was a real good pass and was going to put Vinny in a good position down in the corner with the ball. And that ball missed the boards by maybe a foot.
We want to remind fans coming up a little later in the broadcast, we will have the commissioner of the MASL, Josh Schaub, will be with us late in the first period and on into the second. And then at halftime, we're expecting the Blast owner, Ed Hale, to join us for what promises to be a lively interview, as it always is. We'll talk with Ed about the status of the league and expansion and just some issues coming up in terms of the MASL. Right now, 8:01 left to go in the first. Sonora leads game 1-0 here at the arena.
Well, the one thing that we can almost guarantee, I was going to say guarantee.
Salas with a drive, and that one just wide. William, as it went through the 5-hole of Nelson Santana, kick save and a beauty for Venzela.
Oh, Salas just so dangerous with that left foot.
And now a foul called on Sonora. It'll be free kick Blast.
As I was saying, this interview this year hopefully will go a little bit better than last year's interview as far as the safety and status of the league moving forward. We can at least hope for that.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, I think the league has made some tremendous strides this year.
Yeah, it's a good step forward, and I think that's exciting to look forward to if you're an indoor fan, is stability.
Mello pushed hard into the boards. Let's see what it is. Just a foul called. Foul will be on Garcia. And that is not the first time that has happened to John Mello.
No.
And that's the third foul on Garcia. We're only 7:30 into the game.
Well, that's a storyline to watch.
Free kick Blast from the corner. And off the glass on a left foot from Dantas. Ball is kept alive by the Blast, but under some pressure here.
Yeah, Dantas struck it well, but he didn't keep it on the frame.
It's really tough when you're making that curving run there to try and get your body back over top the ball as Pat Healy tries to win the ball in the air. But it's really tough on that run to keep your body over top that. And what happens when you don't is you end up skying the shot.
Whoa,
and that's
great
exactly
chance there for Sonora. And that one just wide. Great passing from Salas to Cañez, and then the shot. And they will control at the yellow line. Again, it's been pretty much all Sonora here in the first quarter. They have come out with a vengeance, playing very fast. Now Garcia in the midfield, pressured by Dantas. Sonora lost 7-4 here last year. Dantas with a block. And Dantas takes it away. It's 2-on-1. Dantas just wide. Really trying to track the rebound, but it comes out to Baez.
Oh, man, Vinny uses his physicality there. He didn't play in the series last year against Sonora. And there, him and Garcia come together. And I don't know if you saw, it was after the shot, but Garcia pushed Dantas to the floor. And then those two jawed at each other for the rest of the time they were out there after that shot.
I'm sorry, Gary.
Nope, you go.
I was going to say, great job by the third officials.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company, formerly IWIF. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for nearly 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
What's in a name? If you're looking for tires, Mr. Sushi won't help. The only name to trust is Mr. Tire. Because at Mr. Tire, everything is included for one low price. Save on an oil change, too. Get to Mr. Tire today.
And their newest location in Charles Village, online at thb.com. By Mr. Tire, they care about you and your vehicle and will beat any competitors. Total price by 5%. Visit MrTire.com today. By Fremont Mortgage, if you're looking to refinance or buy a home, call Fremont Mortgage Funding. Your loan is handled here in Baltimore, not out of state, so don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. 800-955-8508. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Well, thoughts so far, Paul, midway through the first.
Well-played game. I think the Blast had an early chance, but after that, Sonora took advantage, and I think Sonora's doing a nice job of keeping the Blast on their heels and getting good shots. And I think Mauricio Salas has been a factor here early on. You know, everybody talks about Frank Tayu, but you know, Sonora has 10 players with 10-plus goals this year, so they get scoring in other areas as well. And they've really done a nice job here in the first 9 minutes in this first quarter.
And 20 or more points for those 10 players. In fact, we made a point in the open, the pregame show with Roger Corba, the owner of Sonora, that he brought back 12 of the players that played last year for Sonora against the Blast. That builds continuity, and you can tell by the way they play. They know each other well. Towards midfield, intended for Caltabiano, too strong. Sonora will control here with 5:35 left in the first, and they already have a 1-0 lead.
The concerning thing for the Blast right now is they've had some chances and they haven't been able to finish, and that's a problem area sometimes for the Blast.
Nelson Santana with the stop at midfield, trying to leave it up ahead for Caltabiano. A whistle here, a foul called on Soles de Sonora with 5:19 to play in the first.
Well, Hoxie got fouled, and the referee played on, and then once Sonora took the ball away, they blew the whistle.
That was a great job, but then the question is what happens when Sonora ends up kicking the ball all the way down the field to delay the restart and get their defense back? It's got to be at least a warning to start off there. Otherwise, you're just going to do it every time.
Foul called on number 8, Francisco Duram. That's his first. Adriano De Santos on the floor for the Blast. Santana in midfield. He was not with the Blast last year. Here's a ball up ahead, intended for Daniel Lopez, too strong.
Now, the question you ask for the Blast right now is 2-week layoff. You know, how rusty are they, and you know, how long will it take them to get kind of back into their groove again after not playing for a couple weeks?
Good ball into the corner here from Vanzella for De Santos. They'll play it back to midfield. That's right, it has been a 2-week layoff for the Blast after the Milwaukee series. Blast have been extended to 3 games in each of the first 2 series, at Harrisburg and at Milwaukee, and a foul called on Mello.
And that's been really
correction on Dan Peruzzi, sorry.
That's been really interesting, as you say, Gary, the fact that the Blast have gone to Game 3 in both series so far. After running through the postseason last year, undefeated, but going to overtime in 2 of those series in Game 2. So far, the Blast only 1-1 at home and 3-1 on the road so far. So it's been a really interesting juxtaposition between the 2 postseasons last year and this year, as the Blast have taken a completely different route to get here.
And, you know, the Blast have been so good at home, yet you look at that Harrisburg game, they lost to Harrisburg. They did beat Milwaukee here.
The Blast have lost 2 of their last 3 games at home, stretching back to the regular season.
Both games, 1-goal games. Blast lost 5-4 to Harrisburg. They had a questionable goal disallowed in that game that would have tied it at 5 late. And then they beat Milwaukee 8-7, another questionable call in that game, but they were able to come back in overtime and win that on a goal from John Mello.
And you talk about both those games, and you talk about those calls. The Milwaukee series was a pass back to the keeper late in that game, and they didn't call the illegal procedure, and Milwaukee ended up coming down like 30 seconds later and scoring that tying goal to force overtime. So interesting to see how things have unfolded here in these first 2 playoff games for the Blast.
Sonora with a free kick here outside the yellow line, and they'll play it back to their goalkeeper. William Vanzella for the Blast, as you noted earlier, Andrew, did not make goalkeeper of the year, was not selected on the first team. Chris Toth from San Diego got that honor, and William was apparently pretty visibly upset.
Well, we talked with William. It's a foul on Donatelli. We talked with William at the press conference yesterday. He wasn't upset with his play.
Yeah.
He was
with the process.
No, he was upset with some of the other players. Tony Donatelli not making first team.
Not even making second team.
Not even making second team.
No, and I think the point that William tried to make, and I think it's a fair point, is you have a team in the 7th straight year that they're going to go to the championship game. They've won this many championships, and you don't see a single player on the first team for the Blast. You don't see a single person in the awards, and that's good for the league. That's great for the league. But it's also important to not just make these awards about what's good for the league, but about what actually happens on the field. And in some of those cases, some players on the Blast definitely deserve to be there. They just don't put up the stats because they play a different style of soccer than most of this league.
Well, I'll be devil's advocate. I don't necessarily disagree with William Vanzella, but the thing about the Blast is
they spread it out.
If they spread it out, it's a team thing. You know, and I think Tony Donatelli said it best yesterday. He said, "Look, we're so good because the other teams don't know." Or can't mark one guy on our team. We get contributions from 8 or 9 different guys, and I think that affects team awards sometimes. And you know, it's true.
Well, and I think William, and that was what was so amazing about his comment, because he was being selfless in his comment. He was pushing his teammates. He was looking for his teammates to be there. And sometimes when you have that team stat, he knows what a Vinny Dantas would do if he was playing in a team where he just worried about scoring goals. He knows what kind of player he would be and what kind of stats he puts up, and instead the Blast focus on winning championships. And I think you're frustrated at the award ceremony. You look at that and say there's no way, but then you come back and you win championships, and that's the only thing that matters.
Well, that's the ultimate trophy, right?
Yes, sir.
Coming up on 2:30 now, left in the first. Blast picking up the pace a bit here, but Sonora still leading at 1-0 on an early goal from Cañez, the assist to Ruiz. Sonora now slowing it down. This is Garcia in the midfield, picked up by Dantas. Dan Peruzzi is a big story for the Blast guys. 4 goals now in 6 postseason games. And he's a guy who could be a difference maker here in this series.
Oh, he's a finisher, no question about it. See if he gets some chances here tonight.
Great save by Vanzella as he parries it over the boards. It'll be a corner kick for Soles de Sonora.
Should I just say second team after every save like that? We'll just let it hang.
Boy, William had to be alert on that.
That's the second highlight reel save he's made, when he had that one-on-one with one of the best goal scorers in the history of this league and stuffed it cold, and then now this shot.
Corner kick here on the near side for Sonora. Through the box, trying to set up Salas. That one kicked away by the Blast defense and towards the keeper now, and Vanzella will make the play in the middle of the box. William was the he's a 2-time champion, was the playoff MVP in his first year, won the Goalkeeper of the Year award in his 3rd year, and he's now looking for his 3rd championship in 5 years.
There's something else we didn't really touch on in the pregame that's kind of neat. For the first time ever, split broadcast for this game. Game also being presented in Spanish as well, and broadcast simulcast with the audio for Spanish. And then for Blast fans and fans around the league that speak English, what will be nice is the return games 2 and 3 on Sunday in Sonora will be also broadcast and simulcast in English as well. So a nice job by the league to reach out to both fan bases in both countries to be able to reach and expand this league.
Final minute of play here in the first.
Oh, nice ball.
Donatelli tries to cross for Hoxie, deflected away by Salas.
Good idea. Great ball off the boards to get the ball into the offensive end, and then just a little bit behind.
Here's Rayleigh now for the blast. Donatelli with 35 seconds remaining in the first. Salas with him. Intended for Hoxie, broken up by Salas again. And
Gary,
the blast will have to chase.
I'm not sure if it's a Subway goal or Subway golden goal minute, but any chance you could give me a sub if we score?
Sure. What do you like? Cold cut?
We'll figure that out. We're going to see. Oh, real nice play there.
Corner of the box there by Reynoso with 11 seconds remaining in the first, and that may do it here in the first quarter.
That's great body control not to get a handball there and give away a dumb penalty at the end of the quarter.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that is the end of the first quarter in Baltimore. The blast trailing Sonora 1-0 on a goal from Enrique Canes. We'll come back with our second quarter action right after this. Josh, Gary Stein, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Gary Stein back with you on MASL TV. It's game one of the MASL Championships. The Blast and the Soles de Sonora. Sonora leading the Blast 1-0 here at Royal Farms Arena after one period of play. And now a pleasure to be joined by the commissioner of the league, Josh Schaub, joining us here in Baltimore. Sir, welcome. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having us. What a fantastic turnout on everything considered tonight, and what a great start already.
Absolutely, and it's a big night for Baltimore in general sports. Not 500 yards away, the Yankees and the Orioles are playing. Here we've got game one of the championship, so it's a hot time downtown.
You can feel the energy too, right?
Absolutely.
Feel the energy all over town. This is awesome.
And you were down on the field a little bit earlier. What about the energy right now as far as the players are concerned?
In fact, it started when the highlight video of last year's championship in Sonora was playing, and you could feel the body language of Sonora and just kind of the anger over on the other side starting. And then you look over on the Baltimore side, and kind of the chest puffed out. So it was a great start. The energy was intense. You could really feel it.
Talk about the league. You guys have made some tremendous strides this year. Talk a little bit and puff your chest out for a moment about what the league's been able to accomplish.
Well, I say this with all humility. We've made some small strides. We have a long ways to go, and we're doing the little things, the base hits that every professional sports league should really do. And we continue to strive to be better every day. We're going in this offseason. In June, we'll be meeting in St. Louis with the owners. We have some initiatives to put forward. Obviously, I've been talking a lot about MASL 2. That's going to build the pyramid of arena soccer, but moreover, too, building our digital content, awareness of fans, and really giving them insight into our sport and building that awareness that we used to have in the 80s and 90s.
So when you talk about fans, and I'm glad you brought up 80s and 90s because I moved to Baltimore in 1987, and that's when I saw my first indoor soccer game ever from Miami. I'd never seen that before. So in one way or another, I've been covering indoor soccer for the last 30 years. It's hard to believe, I know. But my point is, back then, yes, it was a totally different feel. It was a different demographic. So how do you plan, and what is the plan to reach out to a different demographic?
Sure, I talked about this in the press conference yesterday. 8% of NBA fans, right? Only 8% actually step into an arena. These are fans that consume the product, buy the merchandise, buy gear, and produce revenue for teams. We have that same capability with streaming now. And in fact, I saw today that the NFL is now licensing out their Thursday night games to Amazon,
Correct.
Facebook, everybody else. Everyone's going to streaming. We have the same capabilities as everyone else. We have to have great production to give that portal of the world into our sport. We can do that, and that's how we're going to build that new demographic, the younger demographic.
So will the league, you talk about production, I'm assuming you're talking about producing the games and then other ancillary content. Will the league try to have a standard that each city will need to meet in order to be able to produce that production?
Yes, ultimately, and I talked about this yesterday too, raising those minimum standards of what we expect of our teams to do to make production better and build our sport. Ultimately, it's up to the owners in St. Louis how far and how fast we want to push that. I prefer to push it as hard as possible, as fast as possible. Ultimately, in the day, we have to have the votes from the owners to make that happen.
Now, I know you don't necessarily have a rooting interest in this game or in this championship series.
The referees are my interest.
I'm going to give the referees some credit. But in a way, though, is it good for the game that an American team is playing against a Mexican team?
In fact, if you talk to the ownership group from Sonora, Rogelio Cota, he especially appreciates it. And I hate to say this, but even building off the political climate that we now have,
sure,
it does help build the drama for the game.
And so we see now it'll be a free kick coming up with 14-19 left to go in quarter number 2. Sonora leading the Blast here in game 1. Free kick Sonora. We're joined by Josh Schaub, the commissioner of the MASL. It is game 1 of the Ron Newman Cup. The MASL finals here, Sonora in black, and they lead at 1-0 on an early goal. Expansion was another topic at the press conference yesterday. You've already made a couple of announcements. There's more to come. Talk about the teams that are coming in, the cities, and the strategy behind it.
Sure. Rio Grande Valley moving from Brownsville, so it's an ownership group we're familiar with. They put together a tremendous sales presentation for us. Loved what I saw. Loved the branding they're putting out there. Also a city that has experienced great popularity with USL and outdoor. So we hope to transition off of that and really grab the coattails. Toronto, ownership group that came to us a long time ago. Ducks in a row, well-financed. Love the ownership group. You saw at the press conference the other day the energy they brought to it. And a history in soccer and a history in promotion. I spent a lot of time with them today. Very excited about what they're producing. They'll start in 2018-19, the Hershey Center, great arena. And I should mention Rio Grande Valley and State Farm Arena, both big big arenas.
Correct. I was going to mention that because it's a new arena for Rio Grande Valley. Is there going to be, and I believe that's a 6,800-seat arena, do you also want to set some type of standard for the arenas that the league will play in?
Yeah, and let's be very honest about this, too. I would love to set minimum standards for all of our arenas, but there's only so many arenas to go around. And geographically speaking, we need a lot of teams. So you can't be ultimately very choosy about what we do. However, we want a minimum standard so there's a quality, a certain level of brand that we associate with our league. I think we're very close to getting there. We're going to have more announcements coming up about teams coming in, potentially some teams moving, which will show the path that we're going as a league and moving that brand forward.
If I may, what's your background as far as leadership is concerned, commissionership is concerned?
So this is my first year as a commissioner. Previous to this, I'm an attorney by trade, so I'm in a law firm called Gutwein Law out of Indianapolis, Lafayette, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I practice sports law. I've owned a minor league baseball team. I've owned a summer collegiate league team. I own a hockey league. I've also managed some other businesses on the side. So my management expertise comes from sports and sports business. I then have a little academic background, having been a sports law professor in law school as well. So I have a little mix of everything, a little skill set, but I'm still learning a lot from our owners.
Meanwhile, Sonora peppering the goal. I think Andrew Primrose has a question for you from downstairs.
Josh, this is Andrew downstairs. You talk about your sports business background. I understand there's some movement forward with the free agency plan around the league and how we're going to move forward with that.
Yeah, so part of my philosophy is we need to grab a lot of ideas from other leagues to advance our league, and we can learn from other leagues. One of those things we grabbed this offseason was from the NBA. The NBA has a 2-week live period for free agents. We've adopted the same. So starting May 1st, any player whose contract in the MASL expires November 1st of 2017 will be a free agent from May 1st to May 14th to sign with any team in the league. So that'll be a live period. We'll issue a roster of players that are eligible on April 30th. And at that point, it's going to be a frenzy of players moving locations.
Josh, if I may also, and I know you're busy and we want you to enjoy the game. Blast, by the way, trailing 1-0 here to Sonora in Game 1. One of the other things that the leagues do well, obviously, is promote their players. People want to come out and watch stars. This league has some stars, there's no doubt about it, great players, but I don't know that the country at large really knows them. So what would be the strategy, what would be the goal in order to create interest in players and bring fans in that way?
So stars and characters, right? And if we look at other models, MMA and WWE, they've done a phenomenal job of putting their characters and stars in front of fans. At the end of the day, we're an entertainment product, and our characters and our stars are basically the entertainment portion of that. So it comes back again to social media, interviews, Snapchat, takeaways, Instagram, and giving insight to the players' lives behind the scenes, highlighting their accomplishments and their backgrounds. Where did they come from? They came from outdoor, they came from college, they came overseas. We just need more insight and content to our players to build the awareness for fans.
Well, I think you guys have made great strides this year. Remember, this time last year there was a lot of consternation among owners and controversy. I guess somehow it all came together. You guys have done a tremendous job. I could just feel the level of play rose this year. I think the fans' anticipation and appreciation for the game did as well. So, Josh Schaub, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We wish you success and the league as well.
Take care. Thank you.
That is Josh Schaub, the commissioner of the Major Arena Soccer League, and it's still 1-0 Blast here. I should say 1-0 Sonora with 10:20 left to play in the first half. And Paul, you had a chance there for a moment to watch the game, really, as I was talking to the commissioner. And again, just, Sonora peppering the Blast goal there for a little bit, but the play pretty even now.
Well, Sonora's got the Blast on their heels a little bit, but Sonora's doing a nice job, I think. The biggest difference I've seen early on in this game, last year they came in, and I think they struggled with the dimensions a little bit here in Baltimore. But tonight they're doing a nice job of putting balls into the Blast end of the field in great scoring positions. Banging the balls off the boards near the goal and creating scoring opportunities and buzzing and not giving up and really being aggressive. And even if they lose a ball, being aggressive and getting right back on it again and winning the ball back.
Another big save by Vanzella there, and this one up into the rafters off the foot of Damian Garcia, and it'll be a goalkeeper distribution for Vanzella. So the Blast now being shut out for the first 21 minutes or so of this game.
Well, early on they had a couple of chances they didn't finish, but right now Sonora is really controlling play at this point.
Here comes the keeper now up ahead for DeSantos. That's a little too wide. And Frank Tayo, here's a steal now. Dantas with a drive. And that one is just high off the glass.
Well, it can turn just like that, and that's another good chance for the Blast. A good steal in the offensive end, and Dantas just missed.
Here's another chance for the Blast, and the defense comes through for Sonora.
I thought that was going to be a tic-tac-toe goal for you, Gary.
Yeah, the owner, Roger Corto, was very impressed.
Well, Sonora almost had one in the first quarter.
That's right. I promised him I would give them a tic-tac-toe. I think it was me, wasn't it, Paul? We had this conversation.
Yes.
That was the game you and I did together when Paul was at the Ed Block Courage Awards.
Okay, that's possible. I'm getting a little older now, Andrew. I don't remember quite as well.
He doesn't remember like yesterday, but
Ruiz.
Getting is a funny word.
Reynoso with the distribution up ahead, intended for Tayu. All the way to Vanzella. It's been an interesting year for William, Paul and Andrew. He's obviously, first team material, no doubt. But even by his own admission, he says, I haven't been quite as sharp this year as in years past.
And the other point to the goalkeeper discussion is that the Blast probably do the best job of any team in the league of limiting what other teams' chances are.
That's true. William faced barely 15 shots a game this year. Here's Dantas turning on the Jets. Dantas is a one-man wrecking crew off the boards, and another chance, this one for Mello, and he couldn't get it down.
Well, that whole play there was just a matter of Vinny Dantas taking over the game as he used his physicality to beat two Sonora players and set up his teammate actually off of a Sonora block. Comes right to Mello, and he boots it up into the cheap seats.
Here's a steal, left back for Donatelli. Let's see if the Blast can take advantage. Inside the box, Pereira. That one is denied.
Well, the lights come on for the Blast offense. They're getting the pressure and they're getting the shots now and converting it. In the last 2 or 3 minutes, that's really come on for the Blast.
Here's DeSantos on a run down the boards, far side, tipped over the boards by Sonora. Kick-in Blast with 8 minutes now to play in the half. Blast have not scored in the first 23 minutes of the game. 1-0 Sonora.
Well, a lot's made of Sonora's offense, but I think the key to this series is going to be how well can Sonora defend the Blast. And so far, they've done a good job of it, but you have to play it for 60 minutes, and you got to hustle back into your defensive end for 60 minutes, and we'll see if Sonora can do that here tonight.
Santana will go to the bench for the Blast.
The other thing we haven't addressed yet, Paul, is with the travel. that Sonora's had to take. It's not an easy trip between Baltimore and Hermosillo as far as transportation goes. Not a direct flight through, so that is a factor for Sonora and their travel here, and it'll be a factor for both teams in games 2 and 3 traveling back across. And Gary, you and I were talking with Kevin Healy before the game about what those travel schedules look like for the team. That's not going to be an easy thing to get ready to play an afternoon game in Hermosillo.
The Blast will travel to San Diego tomorrow morning and then bus to Tijuana and take a flight to Hermosillo. It's about an hour. Meanwhile, Sonora will fly to Tucson and bus 5 hours home. So the two teams taking two different routes to get back to Hermosillo for games 2 and 3 if necessary. Timeout on the floor with 7:01 left. Sonora leading the Blast 1-0 here in the first. Looking for great lunch specials? Go to B-Dubs for their fast break lunch with specials starting at just $6.79 only at your local B-Dubs. Wings, beer, and sports. You have to be here. For over 50 years, Rosedale Roofing has proudly served the Baltimore region, making a big impact in our community. Honesty and service is what you can expect every time with Rosedale Roofing. Visit us online at rosedaleroofing.com today. By Centric Business Systems, the Mid-Atlantic's leader in document management technology. Visit us online at centricbiz.com. By Pressbox, Maryland's leading sports media company. For all your local sports news, any way you want it, check out pressboxonline.com. By Lito's Pizza Square, because Lito Pizza never cuts corners. When the Blast win tonight, Lito Pizza will give you a free topping tomorrow. Just bring in your game ticket to any Lito Pizza in the Baltimore area. And by Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, committed to the health of our community and especially the health of our children. That's why Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield is proud to sponsor the Saves for Kids program with the Baltimore Blast. For every save made by a Blast goalkeeper this season, Care First will donate $20 to Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Chesapeake. The goal is to reach $20,000 by the end of the campaign. Thank you to Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield for the Saves for Kids program with the Baltimore Blast. And that is a mouthful.
I know. You did a nice job there, Gary.
Thank you. Back to the action here. The Soles de Sonora and the Blast. Sonora nursing a 1-0 lead. Ball will belong to William Vanzella. And he will distribute for the Blast. Rayleigh and Healy on the back line. Mello, Caltabiano, and Roque up ahead for the Blast.
Another good win for Sonora as they win the 50-50 battle in the midfield and take possession of the ball.
Bad header there from Mello, too, as he was kind of stuck in no man's land. Probably could have taken a little more time and headed it out into the goal.
And now Soles de Sonora taking the air out of the ball. Here's Reynoso now as the Blast allow that past midfield. A rocket inside.
Is it just me, or does everybody when they play the Blast, other teams, their keepers love to come across the midfield stripe?
Well, it does seem that way in the playoffs, I'll tell you that. With Silva and Lemos. Here's a chance now for the Blast inside. Healy trying to keep it alive. Roque turns. Reynoso equal to the task.
Think we missed him? Guy that can play like that?
I think it's possible.
Lucas definitely showing a lot of skill there. And a great save by Reynoso.
Caltabiano trying to get free. Good ball. Here's Roque with the left, and that one is high. It'll be a distribution upcoming for Reynoso.
Really the best bit of pressure we've seen so far tonight for the Blast in that last 30-35 seconds.
Hey, you know, that without the lack of turning this into a Harrisburg broadcast, we had Carl Delmont on earlier, and we talked so much about Harrisburg and the way they played in that first series, but you brought up the goaltending the Blast have seen so far. And Silva, and the way he played in that first series, was as good as we've ever seen anybody play goal in the series before in Baltimore, and at least in a long time. And then Josh Lemos almost equaled them in the second series. The Blast have seen two excellent goaltenders so far, and that you wonder how much that has the effect on their offense versus, just running into hot goaltenders that are playing incredible right now.
Well, they're seeing goaltender number 3 tonight in Reynoso.
You play your game, and you make sure you get back posts for chances that really the goalkeeper really can't do anything about.
Travis Pittman for a shift for the Blast, acquired from Wichita in the offseason. Gets a foot on it. Santana and Pittman. Santana now in some trouble and is able to move that ball along. Now Pittman, he's got some long legs. Tries to escape past midfield. Good pressure here. They take it away. It's 1-on-2. A drive. It's wide. Rebound. Comes out. Sonora working hard in the corner. So is the Blast.
Wow.
That shot taken by Ruiz.
Sonora really showing their speed there and the ability to really put defenders in bad spots, as Santana just didn't have the wheels to keep up with Ruiz that time and almost led to a Sonora goal.
Donatelli keeps it alive for the Blast. Blast have been on their heels for most of the game, with 4:40 now left to play in the first half. It's 1-0 Sonora. And there's a chance inside. Reynoso with the save. Rebound, and again, another save by Reynoso.
How did he get his hand down there? We
Wow.
just talked about it. 2 great goaltenders in a row, and we were clearly seeing a third.
I think what happened there, I don't think Rayleigh expected the ball to be at his feet, and he didn't really get much on that deflection after Dantas had taken the shot.
And a foul called on Juan Pereira will give Sonora a free kick in the midfield. 4:20 left to go in the half. 1-0 Soles de Sonora. Reynoso is pressured. Ball still in play. That'll be a handball on Dos Santos. Free kick Sonora.
Number 12, Adriano Dos Santos. Free kick, Soles.
Broken up by Dantas.
I don't know if you could hear that on the microphone, but that caused a primal scream to come out of any Dantas taking that blow. That did not feel good.
Well, this is an interesting matchup to watch. Garcia and Vinny Dantas, because they have just gone back and forth tonight. I can imagine we're going to see a lot of that this series.
Now here's Dos Santos and Cañez in the corner.
We have a Sonora player down on the ground, laying flat on the ground.
3 lines there on Rayleigh with 3:38 left to go. And who is down there in the corner?
Is that Ruiz?
Can't see a number, laying flat on his back, and they do not have numbers on their sleeves.
This will be at the yellow line for Soles de Sonora. And now the trainer will come out for the team.
I believe it is Ruiz.
And a timeout. We'll keep it here.
Gives us a chance to hear about some of our wonderful sponsors.
Such as D&N Signs. Andrew Primrose, the official sign provider of the Blast. For all your signs, vehicle wraps, and wall graphics, imaging solutions, go to dnnsigns.com to see how we may serve your signage needs. By Chesapeake Insurance, helping keep workplaces safe, because at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return. Connect with your local agent or visit us online. By Netacom, if you need a new phone system for your business, Netacom provides high-quality business phones for free. With every phone line system and high-speed internet plan, check us out online at netacom.com. By THB, Bagels and Deli, voted Baltimore's best for 6 years in a row. Towson, Timonium, Canton, and their newest location in Charles Village. Chiropractic services to the Blast are proudly provided by Dr. Michael Bartell of Peak Performance Chiropractic. Get to your peak performance today by calling 410-374-WELL or peakperformancemd.com. And Paul, you were right. It was Hiram Ruiz who was on the floor for Sonora and finally coming off now. It'll be at the yellow line for Soles de Sonora, a free kick.
That was just a mistake by Rayleigh. I think he was frustrated. He just blasted the ball into the other end of the field and picked up the 3-line violation.
And
I don't know if you're right, Paul, and yeah, you don't know if it was frustration or not. The Blast tried to make the argument after the fact was that they were trying to clear it to give the penalty stoppage, and it should have been blown dead as soon as they made contact with it, and he was just kicking it to clear it so that the Blast would get the restart. But either way, the referees didn't buy it. William had to make another great save, and the Blast now have possession.
Pushing foul called on Victor Baez. Blast now working in the corner. And that's Hoxie being tied up. It's a foul called on Sonora, but Damian Garcia disagrees. He says it should be on Hoxie for hooking him with his elbow.
A good restart opportunity here for the Blast. Interesting to see if they call timeout.
Andrew Hoxie trying to take up real estate as he gets punched in the stomach. He got punched in the stomach, absolutely punched, and then he come up. And now we have a little Donnybrook starting. His hands on both sides. Dos Santos coming through. And Hoxie not having it.
DeSantos and Hoxie in the middle of it all. And now the blue card. And now things will get out of hand quickly here unless the referees
The officials
take
need
control.
to get back. And in between the... I know he showed the blue, but he's got to make sure he's back in between the players.
Now the camera following DeSantos. You see him in the right corner still verbally sparring with Garcia. Garcia was involved in the play in the first place. Let's see what the official call is here. The penalty will be on Baez. 2 minutes for elbowing.
Okay.
So I guess it must have happened along the wall. And so now it's a power play for the Blast. So a turn of events here in Baltimore. Let's see if the Blast can take advantage. One of the leading power play teams in the league. Off the wall, left foot by Dantas is blocked by Sonora. Blast will maintain possession here for the next 2 minutes with a power play opportunity. Blast setting up on the right side. Roque, Dantas, Healy, DeSantos, and Donatelli. And now Soles de Sonora breaks away. 2-on-1. A chance in the box. Blast getting back. DeSantos was able to kick it away. Now they have a shorthanded opportunity. Ruiz with a drive, and that one is high and wide. And William may have got a finger on it.
William got a hand on that to keep it high and wide. And that's the thing you got to be careful with. If you don't make good passes, Sonora can counter and create scoring opportunities.
Well, you can ask Harrisburg the effects of a shorthanded goal as that turned that entire series around. Pat Healy's goal right before half in Game 2 that really turned down. The Blast had been down 3-1 and then 4-1 in that series, in that game after losing the game at home. The shorthanded goal by Pat Healy really put him in a place to move forward and advance in that series.
Here's a chance now for the Blast in the corner with 49 seconds left on the power play. DeSantos will keep it alive up ahead now for Healy at the yellow line. Target man is Dantas. A one-touch for Roque, and he couldn't keep it down. It'll be a goal kick for Reynoso.
A good ball movement there by the Blast on that power play, using the target man in the middle. Dantas, nice touch for Roque, who got a good look, but wasn't even close in his strike.
39 left on the power play.
Interesting there from Sonora's. They only substituted one player off on that transition. Usually you see teams flop in the middle of a penalty kill like that to get fresh legs on, but they kept on most of their penalty killing units, so that'll be interesting to see how fresh their legs stay.
See which way the official blows this. That'll be against Sonora. Free kick Blast, 31 left on the power play. Blast now quickly up ahead.
And Sonora did a nice job. They didn't like the call, but they got back defensively anyway. They didn't stop playing.
In the corner for DeSantos. Healy will quarterback the power play. Target man is DeSantos. And now Donatelli way high and wide with 18 left on the clock.
Well, there you go again. That ball was a little hot coming to Donatelli. I knew he wasn't going to be able to probably keep it on target, but you got to try to keep it in the field of play.
And it's actually 10 seconds on the penalty left.
Not a sharp power play for the Blast here.
Blast, though, do keep possession. Here's DeSantos now as the penalty is expiring. DeSantos tripped up, no call. Say they got ball, and now ball is still in play. A shot! Oh, and Reynoso one-on-one with DeSantos makes a great save.
Well, that time Sonora did stop playing because they thought there was a foul, and they almost paid the price.
Well, Adriano DeSantos and Andrew Hoxie not on the same page there as the shot went in, and Hoxie's standing there screaming, saying, I'm wide open. Pass me the ball, and I got a goal.
Reynoso clears it into the Blast zone, allowing Sonora to make a line change. Here's a shot, and that one just wide from Dantas. That's about 2 or 3 times now that Vinny had an open look.
I was going to say 4. Yeah, you're right. He's had a lot of open looks, and you don't see him miss many of those.
Tayu, here's the counter now for Sonora. They lead by 1. Time running out in the first. Shot taken, rebound. Tayu can't put it in. Shot was originally taken by Salas. Here comes Pereira now with 15 left. It's 3-on-3 if they hurry. Pereira gets tied up with Dantas in the corner.
Well,
the Blast are going to get a break on this if they call it on Sonora.
It was a pushing foul.
On Vinny Dantas?
No, on Sonora.
No, I thought you were going to call it on Vinny coming through. I guess we'll see.
11 seconds left in the half. Blast with a final chance. The foul was on Contreras for Sonora.
That's his fourth. It's a power play.
It is a power play.
So the Blast will be up a man for the last 11 seconds.
Well, okay, and here's another fight. Breaking out as Pereira gets shoved away. Now we have another one, and Tayu shoving away.
Now the official steps in.
Well, it's exactly what Paul said, is the officials step away to come over to handle the administrative. Nobody stays in between the teams, and that's where the issue's happening.
Time of the penalty, 14:49. Again, DeSantos politicking.
The teams are arguing amongst themselves what's a foul and what's not a foul. That's pretty hilarious, actually.
Well, I mean, what's the conversation here? He's got to go off. You got 11 seconds left. There's no time to set up the defense and talk. Put the ball down, blow the whistle. Well, this to be clear, the penalty will carry over to the second half, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So 1 minute and 50 seconds into the second half. That's a great break for the Blast, but one more scoring opportunity here for Baltimore.
And William Vanzella's over at the Sonora bench talking to the bench players.
Raimundo Contreras with 4 fouls in the first half goes off. 2 minutes for too many fouls.
And remember, that was what led to the Blast scoring the game-winning goal in Sonora last year, was Frank Tayu's 4th foul in the second half of that game.
And that was the power play goal by Donatelli.
Danny Kelly just looked over at Williams and said, I don't want you talking to them. Don't worry about
now
that.
For the Blast, and off a rebound. That one off of Hoxie. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Shot is wide with 1.9 left in the half, and Reynoso will have a distribution. What a first half. For a 1-0 game, this one has had plenty of action.
It's been action-packed, hasn't it? Both keepers are just playing out of their minds right now.
And that is the end of the first half in Baltimore. Scoreless second period. The only goal of the game was 3 minutes into the game when Cañez scored from Ruiz at the 3:24 mark. And after the first 30 minutes of regulation, it's Sonora 1 and the Blast nothing.
A great half of soccer, no question. Great chances for both teams. Great saves by both keepers. Blast have got to regroup and start finishing their chances, or they're going to go back to Sonora in a one-game hole.
Andrew, from your vantage point down on the field.
This is a heated team right now on both sides. The Blast fired up, angry. They'll come out on the power play early on. And the Sonora coaching staff, and then immediately after the officials, not happy with the way that half ended. So it'll be interesting to see the passion that comes up in the second half. And it'll be interesting to see the passion coming here now in the halftime interview as well, huh, Gary?
Should be good. Halftime here at the arena, 1-0 Sonora in Game 1 of the MASL Championships. We'll come back right after this.
How about a round of applause for our little guys out here and girls, ESC. Halftime here at Royal Farms Arena, Game 1 of the Ron Newman Cup
The championship, the MASL Championship 2017, Soles de Sonora leading the Blast 1-0 after one half of play, and it's a pleasure to have Blast owner Ed Hale with us. And Ed, I just want to get right to the game for a minute. For a 1-0 game, a lot of action and a lot of heat down on the field.
Oh, absolutely. I brought up Rogelio Cota, the owner, and his general manager right behind you. And I was telling them they're about as fast a team as we've seen this year. They're very quick, very poised on the ball. And we're very fortunate that it's 1-0 right now, frankly.
Same question that I asked the commissioner a few minutes ago. Do you think it's good for the game in general that an American team, the Blast, takes on a Mexican team in the championship?
Absolutely. I took a picture of these guys at the hotel this morning and sent it out. United States versus Mexico. The fun starts now.
Right.
Like we're angry with each other. We like each other. But there's a lot of nationalism with this, a lot. When you go to Mexico, we went to there last year, billboards, USA versus Mexico. When you got to the airport, so it's real.
Yeah. I thought that the press conference was very revealing yesterday. I was actually in Miami visiting my dad, but I watched it online. And there was a lot of information given and a lot of enthusiasm in that press conference. Let's take a couple of topics. Let's talk about just the state of the league right now. If we would transfer back in time 1 year ago, it was not a very good situation. You were not happy. You were forming your own league.
Yes.
It turned out that things were okay and that you've come back to the league. Talk about where this league is right now compared to 1 year ago today.
Well, I can tell you that if things were not changed, which they have, I would not have come back. The Baltimore Blast would have ceased to exist. The Baltimore Blast would have ceased to exist because it was just not to the point where I felt that we had decent management or ownership in some of the other teams that are in the league. And there was the corporate structure was so wrong that I felt in jeopardy of losing my net worth over being in the league. So things were changed. Josh Schaub, who you've interviewed today, is a good guy. I think he gets it. He knows what he's doing. And he's very, very good at organizing everything. So I'm happy to be here.
How did Josh Schaub come into the picture?
Well, it's funny. We were sitting at the Hermosillo Airport after we won the championship, and the guy that owns the San Diego team introduced me. This is Josh Schaub, our new commissioner. I'm thinking, oh, great, beautiful. So I met him there, and I told him what I thought. And he said, well, how about if we get together and talk? So we did, and we made a lot of changes that I really wanted to get changed, and I was concerned with certain problems. They're fixed.
So it was really a meeting between you two, like a face-to-face meeting that kind of got it all underway.
It was a series of them, and we finally got it together. The previous commissioner I didn't think was competent. I told him to his face. I told him when I first met him that I was going to see how it would go. 3 months into it, before we even played in the first season, I told him I didn't like him and I thought he was incompetent. And from that point on, I was persona non grata. When people tell you that people don't like it too much, but that's what I did.
Right.
So anyway,
that's basically who you are.
Yeah, that's and everybody says, oh, he's an East Coast guy. Well, I believe in telling the truth, and I told him the guy was just not competent. So we have somebody that is competent now, and I hope he's listening.
There are some expansion plans to be revealed later, but what was revealed yesterday was interesting. Toronto, which is a huge market, has a great appetite for soccer, will be coming into the league in 2018. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, those guys we met in Sonora last year, and they're really gung-ho to do it. They've got money. They have a great arena. We played in that once before with some other ownership years ago, and it really worked out very well. And the arena itself. So we're looking forward to playing in that arena with these guys. We were hoping that they would play this season. For us to go to, I love Canada. I would love to go there. I'd love to go there.
So, and as far as the game is concerned, I was talking to Josh about this also, Commissioner Josh Schaub. We're visiting, by the way, with Ed Hale, the Blast owner here, as the Blast trail Sonora 1-0 in Game 1. Talking to him about reaching out to different demographics and developing a persona for the league, and I think he definitely gets that. Can you talk about some of the steps that the league will try to take in order to get its content out there and reach more people?
Well, the first thing we have to do is stabilize things, which it was stabilized last year. This year we're going to expand in certain really good markets. That's starting right now, and we have 3 teams that are going to come in. I'm hopeful that one more team will come in. We need a team in the East Coast. And I was talking to Rogelio, who's over here being interviewed right now. He's looking at a couple more cities in Mexico that are really probable places. So I said, well, how about Cancun? And they think Cancun would be
really.
How about that, Gary? You want to make that road trip?
I'm ready. Ed, listen, as soon as you sign them up, I'm going.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say hi to my daughter Alex. She couldn't make it. She's got a strep throat. I want to say hi to her.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Okay,
she's up in Philly, and
hope she
she's
feels
listening.
Better. Now, are you going to go with the team out to Mexico tomorrow?
They're going tomorrow. I'm going Sunday morning, so I'll be there for the game. Yes.
Gotcha. Well, listen, we wish you the best. You've been here a long time.
Yeah.
Owning the Blast in
it
many
never
different
gets old,
leagues.
Gary. I may be getting old, but this doesn't get old for me. This is very exciting. By the way, I want to say hi to Jack and Dolores Antwerp. And if you guys are listening, I'm here with Gary Stein. You're down in Florida. Hope it's nice down there.
Just say yes, right?
Just say yes, baby.
Ed, thank you so much.
Okay, see you.
Ed Hale, the owner of the Blast, joining us here at the half. 1-0. The Blast trails Sonora at the half. We'll take a timeout and come back with our second half here at the arena right after this.
Generosity. And Don Burke from Antwerp and Toyota, who'll be on the field in just a few moments, will be donating a significant amount of food to help those less fortunate at the Maryland Food Bank. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Don Burke the general manager at Antwerpen Toyota. He's coming out from Antwerpen. He's going to pick up all those great food items that you donated here tonight to help those less fortunate at the Maryland Food Bank. Give yourselves a big round of applause. There's Big Don in the Antwerpen Tundra. Don't forget, you can check out all the great deals in Antwerpen Toyota. See Don Burke. We'd like to thank Don Burke in Antwerpen and all you Blast fans for helping donate to the Maryland Food Bank by bringing in those canned food items to tonight's game. Thank you. Fans, we'd like to remind you, don't forget, if you want to watch Game 2 of the Baltimore Blast take on Soleil de Sonora, it all gets underway Sunday night with other fans at the viewing party at Gunpowder Lodge in Kingsville. Now, happy hour prices begin at 8:30 till the game's end, so come on out to the Gunpowder Lodge, support your Baltimore Blast. Game 2 from Mexico will be at Gunpowder Lodge. Your Baltimore Blast and all you great fans. Come on out, watch Game 2. Your Baltimore Blast take on Soleil de Sonora Sunday night. Game time is 9:05. Happy hour prices. Come on out. Get some happy hour prices.
Gary Stein, Paul Minnemeyer, Andrew Primrose back with you as we wind down our first half, our halftime here at the Royal Farms Arena. Sonora leading the Blast 1-0. We'll have a lot of highlights, Paul, for not a lot of scoring, but there was a lot of action in the first half.
A lot of saves, a lot of chances, a lot of couple of posts, and I think both teams guilty of hitting the post. And let's take
basically forming a wall in front of the goalkeeper, leaving the flanks open, and the shot taken by Donatelli, and
well meant touch there for so. And then this is the only goal of the game. Nice chip by Cañas to score from Ruiz to make it 1-0. Frank Tayu had a breakaway, big save here from Vanzella to keep the Blast down a goal, and then the Blast come back. A little action here from Roque, the big save by Reynoso again, and then good chance here, and oh, what a save. At first I didn't think really hit the ball that well, but he did. You could see he did there on the replay. And then Vanzella, good positioning there on the restart opportunity. Late in the half, Adriano dos Santos with the chance and was denied. There's another angle on that shot. And we are a 1-0 game heading to the third quarter. Blast on the power play.
And it's the same story as the first half, as Sonora not out on the field again.
It's 1-0 Sonora.
And there's players are coming down, but again, as it happened in the first half, very late coming onto the field.
Blast will have the power play for the next 1:49 in the third quarter. Blast had a previous power play chance late in the second, couldn't convert, didn't really have a great power play on that. And so we'll see if they can take advantage here. Boy, from a 14-13 finale last year to a 1-0 game tonight. Contrast, no doubt about it.
Well, that first Blast power play, they just didn't finish. They got into positions where they set guys up with chances, but it wasn't even close. And then the other part of that power play was the opportunity for Sonora. They got a 2-on-1 off of a bad feed. And the Blast had to be sharp defensively, get back, scurry back, and make the play.
Sonora finally making their way out onto the floor. They're kind of doing it in waves. They had 5 guys come out first. Now they got another batch. And now, I guess, another batch is coming out. Crowd continues to enjoy.
Well, I think this is something that the Commissioner Josh Shaw talks about, is putting together a media presentation that's good for the fans that are watching, and having a team that stands here around the song waiting for the broadcast, the dead air here. That's interesting.
Well, they still have a ways to go, there's no doubt, but the strides that they've made this year, I mean, you can, if you've been following the game for any length of time, which we all have, obviously, we can see it. I mean, it is so apparent.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in the stuff, the little things, the small things we get in the media packets and presentations, the ownership groups that are coming in, definitely an improvement on it.
Blast fans gearing up for the second half here. Blast will have the possession. They're on the power play. Actually, I don't know if the Blast will have possession to start.
No, I don't think so. I think the opposing team has possession to start the third. And if that's the case, then Sonora will have a chance to rack some time off this power play.
Hoxie knew it wasn't our ball, but he walked up there just to see, because if nobody claimed it, he was going to claim it. That's a veteran move right there.
Sonora out shooting the Blast in the first half, 14-9. Again, the Blast have the man advantage here. Ruiz gets lost among three Blast defenders to start it off, and Vanzella will now distribute on the far side. Blast start with Hoxie and Dantas up front. Donatelli is in the midfield. Dos Santos and Healy are in the back. This is the Blast power play unit. Nice ball here for Donatelli. Cross, back post, and they score! We are tied at 1. A power play goal for Hoxie.
That's called execution. As great feed, we moved the ball quickly, and Donatelli saw Hoxie on the back post, and we talked about that back post, Gary. That's where he is. There's nothing Reynoso can do about that. We're tied at 1.
We had a kiss the goal, kiss the wife goal, a kiss the baby goal, and now we have a twist the mustache at your girlfriend goal from Andrew Hoxie as he goes over for the celebration of the boards, pointing to his girlfriend in the stands there.
Boy, we're creating all kinds of goals here in Baltimore. Hoxie with his 5th playoff goal, and you talked about Hoxie in the pregame about how he has stepped up in the absence of Roque, especially in that second series. And let's see how much energy this gives the Blast. The assist goes to Donatelli. Donatelli, his 3rd assist of the postseason.
I really liked what Carl Delmont said in our pregame show when he talked about the Blast, and he talked about the differences between the 3-point players that the Blast have, and how bringing them in, they can each do unique, different things. And then you bring in Vinny Dantas, you bring in Lucas Roquette, and then you have somebody like Andrew Hoxie that comes in. It's a completely different physical presence and completely different style of play. But when he gets going, man, is he dangerous.
Vanzella is active in the box, and he makes a nice pass out towards midfield. And now we'll roll it out here on the near side. We're tied up at 1. Hoxie with a power play goal from Donatelli.
This is off of Hoxie, I believe.
It's clearly a handball, one, and then clearly...
Oh. Did they go to the 3rd official for that one? I thought it was off of Andrew. I didn't see a handball, but I thought it was off of Andrew.
He clearly spun and knocked it right. I mean, it's right in front of my face. It clearly went off his hand as he turned. Hoxie moved it forward, and he knocked it into the boards. Otherwise, it would have gone. Andrew kicked it straight down the boards, but I guess nobody in the right position to make that call. Tough break for the Blast, but they overcome it.
Here's a turnover now for the Blast. Caltabiano up ahead for Hoxie. Good battle here. Hoxie and Garcia. Correction, that's Hoxie and Contreras. Donatelli, here's Hoxie now on the other side. Hoxie leaving it for Donatelli, pokes it up ahead. The rebound, and just a step behind was Hoxie, and a foul called on Rayleigh just outside the arc.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Ruiz and Rayleigh came together, and Rayleigh came in with some force. And that was a bang-bang call, but I can see what the official was looking at.
Well, yes, Paul, but if neither of them have position and they're running onto the ball and the ball's loose there and Rayleigh comes in more aggressively to get to the ball, why should he be penalized?
Because it was a very physical play. I'm not saying that he should be. I'm just saying it was a very physical play by Rayleigh. Understand the call.
How about Caltabiano giving up his body on that one to keep that alive for the Blast? It'll be a free kick for the Blast now in the midfield as the pace is picked up early here in the 3rd quarter. Blast have tied it up on a power play goal just moments ago. We're tied at 1. Towards the goal, Reynoso with a save on a drive by Peruzzi.
You don't give Peruzzi that much space with an open line on the goal.
Yeah, we talked about his ability to finish. And, man, he comes right off the bench and gets the job done.
That ball in play, high off the glass, and a handball called. It'll be free kick Blast.
Peruzzi's like he's instant offense. I mean, you watch him. He's one of the few players on the Blast that will face a defender, take him on, and try to beat him down a wing.
And you know, Paul, it's almost like basketball where he's a three-point specialist that comes in and provides that instant shot, that great shooter that comes in, and the rest of the game kind of developing, learning the American game after years of playing in Italy. But, man, the one thing that does translate is his ability to strike the ball and put it on net.
Look at William tracking the movement of that Sonora player and finally belting the shot up along the boards. And now a turnover here. It'll be Rosales, who's been held in check in this game.
It was Peruzzi again off to the races, and give credit. Sonora recovered nice defensively there.
Escalante for Sonora with 11:45 left to play in the third. We're tied at 1.
And you look at Peruzzi physically, kind of reminds you a little bit of Vinny Dantas. That square squat frame, very powerful, great leg, and just a physical presence on the field. And if he can develop into anywhere near the player that Vinny Dantas is, the Blast off something very special.
Roque off the boards. Here's a nice touch up ahead for Santana. Ball in play along the boards. Attendance just announced here at the arena tonight. 6,701. 6,701. Game 1 of the finals.
I want to thank that one person that came in and put the Blast over the top.
That's Pereira with a bouncer towards Reynoso. The save. Up ahead, the distribution with the left to Cañas. Now a chance. Good ball. One touch. And he fanned on the shot was Lopez. That's a big break for the Blast, and they break away now. Dantas still in control. Dantas along the boards has one man to beat. And they'll call the foul from behind on Vinny Dantas.
Vinny, the fans, the Blast bench don't like that call.
10:49 left in the third.
That's an unfortunate side effect of being twice the size of the guy you're running up against.
Absolutely, and that's a smart play. I mean, if you're going up against a guy twice your size, of course you're going to take the contact, as little as it may be, and go down.
Yep.
Try to buy the call. It's a nice job. That's a nice job defensively.
Who can't wait for game 2?
I'm looking forward to the third and fourth quarters of this game.
I know, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but my God, Sunday night's going to be fun.
Well, I think just in that environment, and once again excited to hear an English broadcast down there and hear Jeff Husted and a partner from San Diego call that game. Looking forward to hearing that and being brought to that environment. Ed Hale, as much as he loves soccer and as long as he's been involved in it, that's probably the most excited I've ever seen him talking about soccer.
Back of the net from Garcia, and Sonora answers with a goal.
I think that was deflected in front. I think Garcia's going to get the assist here. That was a great feed. As we talked about that matchup, Garcia and Dantas, when Garcia that time marked by Dantas, he beats him down the wing. And I believe this is a tip-in, absolutely. Ball tipped into the net inside. I believe that was Lopez that tipped it in inside.
It is. Daniel Lopez gets the goal. Garcia gets the assist. For Lopez, that's his third goal of the postseason. And for Garcia, that's his first assist. Time to go 5:03. And Sonora now has retaken the lead at 2-1. Blast have never led in this game. And a free kick upcoming for Sonora.
The Blast.
Oh, for the Blast. Check that.
Maybe. We'll see. Could be overruled.
Referee asking Tayu to give him 5 yards. That's still not 5 yards, but okay. Up ahead for Hoxie. Picked up by Contreras. Good ball. One touch. Couldn't keep it down. Is Pat Healy. Goalkeeper distribution for Reynoso.
Way too much of that here tonight, huh? The Blast with some good touches, good chances, but some poor touches well over the glass.
I think Sonora would feel the same with a couple of the posts that they've hit on real good opportunities, and even more so the saves that William Vanzell has been able to make.
Santana working hard to keep that one in the Blast possession. Cross field. Blast do keep it alive. Peruzzi, now a lazy pass for DeSantos. That one picked off. And somehow that'll find Tayu one-on-one with Vanzella. Too severe of an angle. Plays it off the boards.
Great job by Tony Donatelli. Tony Donatelli and William Vanzella to know the field, know the angles, and work it, not put themselves in a position they could get beat, but just let him run down in the corner where he could do nothing with the ball.
Yeah, he pretty much ran out of room down there.
2-1 Sonora. Blast pressuring now.
He's lucky that ball didn't have more pace on it, as that was a poor pass. Started heading towards the goal.
Foul called on Soles de Sonora. It'll be on Cañez.
Number 9, Enrique Cañez.
Free kick Blast. Santana will be on it with 8:37 to play in the third. Game 2 will be Sunday night in Hermosillo. Game time is 9:05 Pacific Daylight Time. 6:05 Pacific Daylight Time, 9:05 Eastern Daylight Time. And if necessary, Game 3, a mini game immediately following Game 2.
There it is, our first one of the year.
It is first one. Superstructure violation, and we can say it now. Free kick for Sonora from the yellow line.
Well, we've seen so far in the playoffs, Williams struggle on the shots to the near side, and you wonder as Sonora takes another opportunity straight on net, and that time, Nathan Santana up to the challenge as Ferreira has a breakaway, has Roque trailing.
A little too far for Roque. Blast will have to slow it down.
You can see Roque laboring a bit that time as he ran down the field.
Yeah, he couldn't get there. Santana, nice move. Off the bench, here's DeSantos. Sonora, though, buzzing around, making it difficult for the Blast to advance past midfield. Now they do. Here's DeSantos. Turns. DeSantos off the boards, in the box. Rebound, blocked. The shot was taken by Mello, and a shot was taken by Contreras from Mello.
Called a foul. I believe it's on DeSantos. No, it's on Mello.
Free kick for Reynoso.
No, good pressure there from the Blast, unfortunately ended by the penalty. Or the foul, rather.
Played by Vanzella in the box halfway through the third. 2-1 Sonora. Santana forced back towards his own yellow line. Target man is Dantas. Then he turns, tries to thread one through, but that one broken up by Escalante.
And Sonora continues to play good defense. They continue to mark their men.
Pass intended for Mello from Pereira.
Good hustle by Joan to get back defensively.
Keep it alive for the Blast. Less than 7 minutes now to go in the third. More pressure from Sonora. And this one over the board. Oh, stays in play.
Well, that should have been called there. It hit the inside of the penalty box. And that's clearly out of bounds, and then Sonora capitalizes.
And they convert a bad clear between Santana and Vanzella, and a big goal for Sonora. Time of the goal is 8:30 of the third.
Well, Santana just didn't get the ball back far enough off the header. Rosas takes advantage.
Eric Rosas with the goal.
That's a real bad break for the Blast there, as that ball should have been stopped and the ball should have been going the other way. But either way, Paul, you've pointed it out many times. After the call, the Blast have to keep playing. And it came back to bite him there.
Lopez gets the assist. Lopez now with 2 points here in the third quarter and a timeout on the field. Sonora leading the Blast 3-1. MedStar Sports Medicine is the official medical team of the Blast. Trust the sports medicine trained doctors, physical therapists, and certified athletic trainers of the largest sports health program in the area. Now attacking the Sonora goal. Hoxie trying to keep it alive along the boards. Good reversal here. Donatelli, though, forced back for Rayleigh, and now all the way back to the keeper. Lopez will pursue.
Now, Blast have their work cut out for him, but how many times have we seen this team rally late in games?
Well, in this postseason, we talked about being down 3-1 and 4-1 in Harrisburg, Game 2, with their playoff lives on the line. So certainly the Blast feel comfortable in this situation, or as comfortable as any team can be down against such a good team.
Well, a lot of time left, but you have a very motivated opponent. Here's a steal. Here's Garcia towards the goal. That one wide. Venzella very aggressive out there. Donatelli comes away with it, going to try to take it on the boards himself, broken up by the Sonora defense. Dug out in the corner for Sonora by Contreras. Reynoso, nice step in by Rayleigh. 2-on-2, a chance now for the Blast. Roque trying to head it ahead. He's double teamed, taken away.
We weren't sure what we would see from him tonight, and so far played some real good minutes from the Blast and had a couple opportunities. So
one-on-one, and William takes care of Tayu.
You saw why Tayu's so good. He actually changed the angle of his shot, literally by just letting the ball play by him and then using his other foot. But give credit to William Venzella, who read that play beautifully and was right there to make the save.
Mello in some pressure.
Good ball.
Nice ball here is Healy.
He's got Roque.
Can't get it through.
We waited just a split
Oh, here's a
second
chance
too long.
now. Shot saved by Reynoso. One-on-one with Peruzzi.
Reynoso had his feet hard after playing the previous ball and somehow still figured out a way to stretch his feet even further.
Well,
it's an absolutely incredibly athletic play.
Looked to me like he showed Peruzzi the far post and then took it away.
That's the save of the game right now for Sonora.
Kind of play we used to watch Brett Phillips make all the time. Show the shooter something to shoot at and then take it away.
Venzella up ahead, intended for Peruzzi, who was just denied by Reynoso. 4:05 left and a kick in for the Blast upcoming. Blast Soccer brought to you by Michael Bartel, Peak Performance Chiropractic.
Yeah, nice job. He just barely got the foot out there as that ball was headed to the corner by Peruzzi.
Salas with a foot on it. Now threading through the defense. Oh, nice save by Venzella as he stretched out wide, denying Rosales.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
3-1 Sonora with 3:30 left to go in the third. Pereira. Here's Dantas trying to turn. Dantas towards the goal, punched away by Reynoso.
That was the goal we saw, what? That was the goal that got the Blast back in against Milwaukee, right?
Absolutely.
Turned on that wing and buried it.
Dantas trying to track that one. Josh Hughes out there for his first shifts tonight. Fresh legs for the Blast. And now a timeout called by Sonora with 2:43 left in the third. Chiropractic services to the Blast, proudly provided by Dr. Michael Bartel of Peak Performance Chiropractic. Get to your peak performance today by calling 410-374-WELL or peakperformancemd.com. Henderson Webb is the official apartment provider of the Blast. Need an apartment? Henderson Webb offers studio, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments in and around.
If you think Antwerp and Toyota can't put you in a brand new car based on competitive pricing, trade value, credit, or negative equity, you don't know Jack.
Yes! Get a 2016 Toyota Highlander LE for only $249 a month, or a 2017 Toyota Camry LE for $159 a month, and a 2017 Toyota Corolla for only $99 a month, or a 2017 Toyota RAV4 for just $159 a month. Do you know Jack?
Yes!
For Kids program. Blast Soccer also brought to you by the Embassy Suites by Hilton. Baltimore Inner Harbor is the official hotel of the Blast. Connected to the Embassy Suites is Baltimore's most sought-after venue, the Grand. Whether planning a corporate meeting or event, wedding, gala, or social event, contact the Grand at 410-685-7777 or visit them online at thegrandbaltimore.com. Goal kick upcoming for Sonora with 2:43 left to go in the third. And that one will go over the boards. It'll be free kick blast.
And first shift from Hughes coming back on, had to deal with a concussion issue. And it'll be nice to see what he can do. He was a guy that was coming on really strong at the end of the season. And it's nice to see him back in here running around. For the Blast, could be a spark of energy.
Held in by Donatelli. Blast will maintain possession in the midfield. Now Healy towards the middle of the field. Cuts it deep for Donatelli. And right there on the defense is Escalante. Now they reverse fields. For Hoxie inside from Healy, broken up. And Venzella will have to come out to the yellow line and make the play.
Good double team there on Hoxie to steal the ball away.
Here's a good ball. Caltabiano up ahead, and he's got some room. The left, inside the box, and it almost tips in. But Reynoso, like a cat, makes the play.
And that was off of a Sonora defender that time.
Oh, DeSantos lets a man get by him. The cut with the right foot and into the back of the net. Ruiz with the goal, and Sonora has taken command 4-1.
Well, that time, bad gamble by Adriano Dos Santos. As he gambles in the midfield and loses, Venzella makes that first save, but good fight there by Ruiz to beat Rayleigh to the rebound. And just like that, it's all Sonora here as they've scored 3 straight goals to take command of this game.
The first save by William, and then Ruiz gets inside his man.
Assist to number 9, Enrique Canez.
So Canez assists Ruiz, whereas in the first quarter, Ruiz assisted Canez. 4-1 Sonora. The Soles de Sonora has scored 3 straight goals in 8 minutes.
13-18.
See what the Blast have left here, trailing 4-1, and now a foul called on Sonora.
You know, the Blast tend to play very well when they're emotional. They tend to, once they find that spark and they get excited, it tends to feed itself. And you wonder if a foul's coming up here or a penalty or something that's going to come up and inspire and spark this offense to kind of ignite. And you've seen the Blast go on those runs when that happens. But right now, a very flat team and a very flat crowd right now with a 3-goal deficit.
I don't think the Blast are flat. I just think Sonora's playing better than they are. Sonora's playing a great game right now. They're using their speed to their advantage and making things happen.
A touch here by Rayleigh and a foul called on Sonora.
That's
1:06 left.
2 quick fouls on Turyu. That's his 3rd one now. So that's something to watch. As remember, he picked up the penalty at the end of Game 2 last year that left the Blast on the power play going into overtime.
Good steal. DeSantos steps in. Rayleigh gets tied up along the boards. Nice block there by DeSantos. Good work by Sonora to clear it as Peruzzi was trying to make a play on the boards. Blast, though, with 35 seconds left in the third. Boy, a goal would be huge here for Baltimore. Peruzzi trying to slip by, does. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Peruzzi. Roque with the left, the shot, the save, and over. It'll be a corner with 18 ticks left on the third quarter clock.
You know, we've talked about what Peruzzi can do finishing. That time a great ball as he found Roque on the other side of the floor and set up Lucas for a great opportunity.
Reynoso has been absolutely fantastic. Every bit as good as Lemos.
He's the player of the game.
Yeah.
Healy will be on it. He'll be the trigger. Through the box for Roque. Roque goes down in a heap. Donatelli, that one blocked by Tayu. Tayu will track it here with 9 seconds left. Donatelli gets involved. Now they got a chance here with 3 seconds if they can get a shot off. It's blocked from behind by DeSantos, and that'll be the end of the third. But a big quarter for Soles de Sonora, the challenger. Comes up with 3 straight goals in the third quarter and lead it 4-1 after.
Baseball and my family seem to go hand in hand, seem natural. It seems to be built into everything I do. I'm hardwired into MedStar Sports Medicine the same way. I pick up the phone, I call them, I go. They're the sports medicine experts. I trust them.
Right now, we direct your attention in Philly. And most beautiful, most talented girls in the South. Let's give it up for your Baltimore Black cheerleaders. Let's go, Baltimore cheerleaders! Shots on goal tonight's third quarter. Soleil State Sonora 8, the Blast 8. Shots on goal tonight's third quarter. Soleil State Sonora 8 and the Blast 8.
Well, a big third quarter for Soles de Sonora as they score 3 consecutive goals to close the third quarter, break a 1-1 tie, and take a 4-1 lead over the Blast in Game 1 of the MASL Championships after 3 quarters. Gary Stein, Paul Mittermeier, and Andrew Primrose back with you from Royal Farms Arena. Soles de Sonora getting goals from Lopez, Rosas, and Ruiz. The last one coming at the 13-18 mark of the third. And all of a sudden now, Sonora with a 3-goal lead after 3.
Interesting to note that even though Sonora outscored the Blast 3-1 in that period, both teams with 8 shots on goal in that period. So interesting, that Sonora was able to find the goal 3 times on only 8 shots. The Blast 1 goal on 8 shots.
Well, I think Sonora, give them credit after the Blast scored on the power play to start the quarter, and really stepped it up and got it done.
Pereira slips by his man along the boards, but he's called for a push or a hold. And so it'll be free kick for Soles de Sonora.
Let's see how they play with this 3-goal lead, whether they keep attacking or maybe try for some possession time.
Well, it's not a good start. Luckily, he was outside the yellow line for Sonora, so it'll be a kick into the spot and went out, and not dangerous for the Blast.
Healy along the boards, pokes it up ahead. Too strong for Dantas. Dantas led the league in postseason points with 13 coming into the game tonight. And not only he, but the rest of the Blast have been stymied by that Sonora defense.
Handball foul on Solis number 5, Victor Baez. Free kick Blast.
Handball on Sonora, that'll be on Victor Baez. Free kick Blast from midfield, trailing by 3. Dantas double team, taken away this time by Rosales. Left-handed distribution from Reynoso. That'll be off Sonora. Free kick blast. DeSantos on it for the blast. Played about a minute here in the fourth. Foul called on Rosales. And now a push.
Oh, he kicked the ball and he ran forward, and then just an absolute flop.
Is he trying to sell the fact that he got pushed?
No, and that's exactly what it was. It should have been a warning, and that was a good job by the official there as he ran in and just flopped down.
DeSantos elects to play it back to the keeper. Up ahead intended for Mello. Boy, how aggressive is Sonora in its defense? They are all over
the field.
They are not giving the Blast an inch of breathing room. And that's what you get that with your speed. They are so quick. Now Mello, nice move inside.
There's a third defender, though, to shut the door.
Well, it's not going to get any easier up in Hermosillo. Not a lot of room up there. Pittman trying to make a run. That one broken up. Ball will squirt out towards Vanzella here. 13 minutes now left to play. Blast facing the very real possibility of having to go to Mexico trailing 1-0.
Well, last year, of course, winning Game 2 in overtime. And it demonstrated they can win there, but winning 2 games in a row, of course, at mini game, anything could happen. Really, it's almost that first goal really does set such a tone for the championship in the mini game. So anything could happen. The Blast would just have to focus on Game 2, and they know they can win a Game 2 there. They just have to score goals.
Well, still a lot of time left in this game.
Yeah, this one not over.
Paul,
Nice.
I think to win this game, they're going to have to score a couple goals.
Really? Really, you think?
At least 4.
That's my shout out to Jeff there.
I guess at least 5, actually.
4 will do it.
Well, 4 will tie it.
Breaking free is Ruiz, saved by Vanzella. Oxy trying to win a ball, and it's over the boards. It'll be free kick Sonora.
Bad break there for Andrew.
Is the score wrong on the board then, Paul?
It's 4-1.
4-1.
To win the game, they're going to have to score 5.
You play to win the game.
Am I missing something?
What's 5 plus 1?
Why is it 5 plus 1, Andrew?
We have 1.
I know, so we need 4.
Right.
So where do you come up with 5?
Oh, he's saying 5 total. No, I'm following now. I'm getting it there. We need 5 total.
Jeez,
not
help
to score
us.
5.
Paul, do something.
I got nothing. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory, but...
Blast buzzing around, trying to make life difficult for Reynoso, who has made life difficult for the Blast all game. Here's a turnover. Okay, one touch, though, gives it right back. Both goalkeepers have played brilliantly tonight. Vanzella has just been under constant siege. Through the wickets, here's a chance for the Blast. It's just that Reynoso has been incredible. And the Blast have missed some chances. Mello going to have a chance. Rebound, score! Created by Mello, finished by DeSantos.
Well, great save by Reynoso to start that sequence as Mello was looking far post and just gave up too much of a juicy rebound, and Adriano Dos Santos pounced on it and put it away with the left foot. Good save with the hand there, and the Dos Santos off the volley buries it into the back of the nets. Give the Blast their second goal of the game and get it back in the game.
DeSantos playing in his 31st career postseason game. That is 4th all-time in Blast history, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's his 3rd playoff goal.
Crowd's a little jacked now. Let's see if the Blast can build on that momentum.
Well, we've seen it before. 4-2 is the score. Plenty of time left. 10:40 to go. Blast trailing by 2. Blast were all but left for dead against Milwaukee in Game 1, trailing 4-1 late in the 3rd, and started an epic comeback.
That was quick, too. That was, what, 5 minutes?
Won that one 8-7. Nice cut by Pereira. Good defense by Escalante. And now Venzella winning it up ahead. Blast defense. Nice possession, though, here for Sonora at midfield. Oh, that's well played. In the corner, William, that one almost got over him. William read it. 9:45 left, Blast with possession. Caltabiano heads one towards the keeper, nothing there for the Blast. Hoxie will pressure here.
Williams' distribution percentage has been lower than normal.
Whoa, that one just wide. A nice move by Ruiz. Keep that one in Sonora's possession. Blast will collect this one, Healy. Midfield. Ooh. Good possession here for Sonora.
And Hoxie almost was able to steal that ball off the boards to Caltabiano, but nice recovery for Sonora.
Rosales at midfield. Rayleigh with a chance now. 4-on-3, Rayleigh. Rayleigh's got some room. Rayleigh towards the goal. It's wide. Rebound, Rayleigh. A save by Reynoso.
He just stuck the hand out and made the play.
Oh, here's a chance now for Sonora. The cross intended for Leyva.
I mean, Rayleigh did everything right. And then Reynoso said no.
He's been saying that all game.
A word that translates across both languages. It works well.
I was just about to say. You don't need a translator for that. Roque now for the Blast. Double team taken away. Canes.
Man, how many times have I heard you say that tonight? Double team taken away.
Yep. They're on it. Good ball here. Ruiz.
I think that's got to be the story of the game, is how well Sonora's defense has played. Paul, you mentioned earlier that was going to be the tale, and that's what's happened right now. Sonora's defense has been playing incredible so far. The pressure's been up and down the field, and that's not allowed the Blast to get offensively into the zone. Defensively, they're playing a regular game. They're playing good. They're feeling good. But they just cannot keep possession and cannot control the ball and get shots on goal that matter.
7 minutes left to go. Pereira upset at the yellow line. It'll be a free kick Blast now.
Pushing foul on Celeste number 9.
Pushing foul called on Canes.
His third of the half.
So that's 2 players now for Sonora with 3 fouls each.
Tayu and Canes.
Haven't really seen much of Tayu since. Donatelli off the boards. Intended for Santana, broken up by the Sonora defense.
Well, and while you appreciate his offense, and obviously you want that on the field, if you're Sonora, you can't give up the odd man opportunity if he picks up an easy foul.
Caltabiano off the bench. Venzella comes out almost to midfield. Here come the Blast now. Rayleigh with the left. Rayleigh down the sideline. Rayleigh gets by a man at the turn, in the box. Nothing. Reynoso stuffs it.
Really that time just got caught too far down the turn. and really didn't have a good angle anywhere, and the ball ended up just kicking off the boards right to the keeper.
Good hustle by DeSantos to beat Salas to the ball. Here's the chip up ahead for Dantas. Boy, they have had the answer for Vinny Dantas tonight. Can't even get a good touch on it. Blast won a handball there, no call. Benzella reads that nicely and moves it up ahead. Chance for the Blast now. Healy really can't collect it easily. And now they've got to wait. Chance for Dantas inside. Can't get a shot off.
Just a little bit off tonight with their passes in the offensive zone.
5:50 to go.
Starting to think about when you would want to go to the sixth attacker here.
Still got 2 minutes before you do that. Pereira, a shot. Oh! Inside of the post and out!
Well, that would have been big.
Blast need possession here. They don't get it. Good cross. Nice touch. In the corner, Benzella. This could be dangerous here.
Luckily, it bounces.
Wow.
I mean, the inside of the post.
Officials timeout with 5:20 to go. Now, I didn't follow it, but did the keeper kiss the post after that?
I don't think so.
He should have.
Should have, though.
Blast Soccer brought to you by Advanced Radiology, proud to be the official medical imaging provider of the Blast. When you need fast, accurate results, trust the team of experts at Advanced Radiology. Visit advancedradiology.com for a location near you. By Lido Pizza, which is square because Lido Pizza never cuts corners. When the Blast win tonight, Lido Pizza will give you a free topping tomorrow. Just bring in your game ticket to any Lido Pizza in the Baltimore area. Chesapeake Employers Insurance, Maryland's largest writer for workers' comp insurance. For a business coverage quote, connect with your local agent. By Netacom. Are you frustrated at work by slow computers or system crashes? If so, Netacom's computer and network support team can help. Netacom provides flat-rated service plans for businesses just like yours. Put Netacom on your team's roster. Check us out today at netacom.com. $5:20 left to go. Blast trailing by 2. It'll be kick-in Sonora from around the yellow line here on the near side.
Yeah, I'm going to guess, Gary, the 3-minute to 2:30 mark before you go sixth attacker, right? What do you think?
Yeah, about 3:30, I would say. Because they got 2 goals to make up. Let's see how it goes. That one skipped through.
I guess you'll see whenever Pat Healy's shift ends and when he goes off the field, that's when the Blast will start considering that, as he would most likely be the sixth attacker. So as long as he's out on the field, the Blast likely won't do that. Of course, they do have 2 timeouts, so if the ball goes back to William, they can stop the play.
High pressure by the Blast now. Pressure here from Sonora. Nice little back heel by Mello to get that one in a good position. A foul call from behind on Soles de Sonora. That'll be on Baez. Free kick Blast. Pardon me, 4:49 left to play. Game 2 Sunday night in Hermosillo, Mexico. 9:05 Eastern. Hoxie in the corner. What a battle that is. Double team, triple team. Hoxie trying to power through towards the goal. Tripping foul called on Sonora as Mello goes down. This one will be on number 10, Daniel Lopez. 4:14 left to go.
An interesting restart spot here at the yellow line.
William Benzella cheating his way up.
One touch inside the box. Reynoso equal to it. Reynoso breaks out of the pack.
Where's he going?
He thought
4:06 left to go.
He thought he would have a chance to take a shot with William Benzella so far up. He was trying to get across the yellow line, and he was going to take a shot, but William did a really good job of getting back.
Risk reward, though. You turn the ball over there, and
Benzella coming off now, and Healy coming on. They're going to take a shot at it from midfield. Just high. Blaster on the 6th attacker now. Healy with the jersey, 3:39 to go in game one, trailing by 2. Blasco with Mello, Healy, Dantas, DeSantos, Donatelli now coming off the boards, and Pereira can't keep it down. It'll be a goalkeeper distribution with 3:23 left to go.
It's a shame because Vinny Dantas was unmarked on the opposite side there. And if that ball had stayed low and made it across, Vinny would have buried it.
Outstanding effort by Sonora here tonight, clinging to the 2-goal lead.
Santos trying to win a ball, gets it back for Donatelli. Now he's tripped up and fouled. Benzella was back in on the defensive side, but he'll come off now, and Healy will come on. 3:10 left, Blast trail by 2. Here's Mello. Mello punches one into the corner for Dantas.
Too hard. Well, Blast going to break there.
Dantas trying to win his way through. Healy, 2:45 left. 6th attacker. Corner now for Donatelli. He'll try to turn towards the goal. Broken up, uses the boards. Back to Healy. Sonora doing a good job of keeping the Blast in the midfield. Mello looking inside in the corner. DeSantos keeps it alive. 2:19 left. Now they reverse. Inside for Dantas, and he couldn't keep it down. Now Healy will come off, and Vanzella will come back in.
Back in goal for the Blast, number 0, William Manzella.
Dangerous. In the box, and that one just wide. Ruiz trying to run onto it on a ball from Rosales.
Sonora doing a nice job of ragging some time here, though.
1:59 left to play. Timeout, Blast. We'll keep it here. Well, and you said it earlier, Paul, Solis de Sonora has come in here tonight, and what an effort by their team in general and by their goalkeeper in particular.
Amazing performance. Obviously came in with a plan tonight, executed that plan well, and took control of this game. You know, you back last year's game here in Baltimore, the Blast took control of the game in the third quarter. And that's exactly what Sonora did here tonight, this year, after the Blast got that power play goal.
Hey, if we can get a shot of the Sonora huddle outside their bench, their trainer is toweling them off. You see it?
Gary, he hasn't stopped for 30 minutes. I'm not kidding you. He has waved 30 minutes consecutively. That is the hardest working man. He finally gives up the towel for somebody to dry off, and then I'll start again. It's unbelievable.
That guy deserves the game ball right there.
There he goes again. He's back in it.
Keeping his team cool.
Wow.
Healy back out on the floor for the Blast with 1:59 to go. Blast staring right into the face of a very difficult accomplishment if they were to make it, and that would be win 2 straight games in Mexico. Trailing 4-2 here in game 1, out of bounds off Baltimore. Free kick Sonora.
See, that's where Vinny Size worked against him. He got run into and got absolutely shoved, and that's why the ball went out of bounds there. But because he's so big, the collision doesn't look bad. But if he was a smaller player, if he had run into a smaller player, it would have been an easy foul call.
Sonora with possession and the lead. Stopped by Mello. Dantas powers his way through. Dantas quickly up ahead. Hoxie. Dantas! And blocked by Sonora from behind and caught easily by Reynoso.
Wow. What a great play defensively to get back and make the adjustment and make the play and get that block. Ball just kind of laid there for Dantas, who unloaded And again, Sonora there defensively to make the play.
What a freight train he is running down the field, man. He's just a straight bull.
He looks like
goes
a
through.
fullback.
It's unbelievable. The speed and the power with which he runs through there, and then how fast he gets his feet over top, tackling players and keeps his balance. It really is impressive.
Healy up and over with 1 minute to go, and it'll be another distribution for Reynoso. Blast are trying to score 4 points at a time now.
Last minute of play in regulation.
Free kick Blast, less than a minute to go.
Slices number 13, Alejandro Leva. Free kick Blast.
That's a mistake by Healy. It gives possession back to Sonora.
That's a huge break for the Blasters. They won't get this ball back within 10 or 15 seconds.
DeSantos for Mello. The double team comes back to DeSantos. 40 seconds left. Quickly up ahead. Mello, right-footed shot, saved by Reynoso. Picks up the rebound before Hoxie can get there. And that may do it now with 30 seconds left.
I mean, why not? He's done it all night. That's a foul on Healy.
26 seconds left.
Tribute foul on the West number 9, Pat Healy. Free kick, Solis.
They kick it in towards the Blast goal. Blast will trudge back up the field here with 20 seconds left. Trailing at 4-2. Blast will now go to Sonora Sunday night, trailing 1-0 in the best of 3 MASL finals. Reynoso with the catch. Reynoso to the yellow line. Sonora comes to Baltimore and beats the Blast 4-2. In game 1, let's not have anything here, folks. Let's just keep this cool.
Well, I think Pat Healy took exception to.
Well, no, he did, and then he came over, but then he also was stepping over, and the guy grabbed his leg and was holding on to it, and Pat told him to get off the field.
That's the last thing we need.
A heated ending to this game.
Sonora comes in and beats the Blast 4-2 tonight in game 1. And calm prevails now, and the Blast and Sonora will exchange handshakes. Danny Kelly and David Bascom will have a day to travel and figure it out. Take their best effort to Hermosillo on Sunday night for game 2, and then if necessary, game 3.
Well, the challenge is large.
The hill is steep. 4-2 is the final. Blast did not score in the first half. Tied it at 1 early in the third on a power play goal by Hoxie. But then the game was won by Sonora in the third quarter. 3 consecutive goals. Lopez at 5:03, Rosas at 8:30, and Ruiz at 13:18. And Paul, their very confident owner, who we interviewed in the pregame, was right. They're going to come in here, they're going to win the game.
Well, we talked about it. They were motivated. You know, they watched the Blast win the championship on their floor last year, and they got to watch it again tonight as the Blast played the highlights in the introductions of last year. And they did a nice job. Give Sonora credit. They came in here, played a great game. I mean, pretty much every single pass by the Blast in their defensive end or the midfield was contested tonight.
No doubt about it. They outplayed the Blast. Blast had some chances. But overall, Sonora just controlled this game. And there you see him at midfield. Post-game chat/celebration. They know they still have a lot of soccer to play, but they got a big leg up on the Blast here tonight. No pun intended.
That is a big statement win to come into Baltimore and beat the Blast here in the championship series. And they got to feel mighty good about themselves going back to Mexico.
Let's go down to the field now for Andrew Primrose with our player of the game.
All right, we'll come in here now. Tony Donatelli. Tony, 1-1 game in the third quarter. You guys tie on the penalty penalty to score and tie the game. What happened with the Blast there?
Yeah, we just let down. We made some individual mistakes in the back, and they capitalized on it. But it wasn't a good performance for 4 quarters from us tonight, and it's disappointing for it to be the final and have such a great crowd here tonight. But this team will never give up, and we're confident we can go down there on Sunday and get 2 wins.
How much did winning last year in Game 2 in the overtime, the goal was scored there, how much confidence does that give you guys to know that you can go down there and win again?
Yeah, it definitely helps. We have that experience and that good feeling from last year that we know we can go on the road down there. And it's a tough place to play, but we got the result last year, so we know if we play our game, we can do it again this year.
Did they do anything that you guys weren't expecting? Anything offensively? Was this the team you expected to see?
Yeah, that's exactly what we expected. We just didn't play our game. We were a little rusty in the first half. We had some chances, and we were just off by a couple of inches here and there, and we just didn't finish them off. And when you don't do that, you allow the team to capitalize on mistakes and get a lead, and we try to play at the end, but it just was too little too late.
Great effort. We'll be rooting for you guys down there on Sunday night. And congratulations on a great regular season and postseason here in Baltimore. And we'll look forward to seeing if you guys can win too in Baltimore and bring the championship back home.
Thanks a lot. We're not done yet, though.
So there's Tony Donatelli with Andrew Primrose, and Donatelli said in his last comment, Paul, we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. It would not shock me if the Blast went down to Mexico and won 2 games. I've seen what this team is capable of. It's a challenge, and it'll be fun to watch on Sunday. If you're looking for somewhere to go, Blast fans, Gunpowder Lodge doing a viewing party on Sunday night. So check it out in Kingsville on Bel Air Road, right past Honeygo Boulevard.
Another time to mention also, great job by the league. We will have an English language broadcast. We'll be able to see that for the first time last year, having to watch the broadcast in Spanish, so that'll be a nice opportunity for Baltimore fans and of course fans across the MASL to watch an English broadcast, and excited for that opportunity.
Well, congratulations goes out to Soles de Sonora for coming into Baltimore and beating the Blast 4-2 here in Game 1. They've got the advantage in the series right now. It'll go back to Hermosillo, Mexico for Game 2 on Sunday night. Paul, final thoughts as we sign off here for the last time for Baltimore.
Hats off to Sonora for coming in here tonight with a game plan and executing that game plan and getting a victory. They were fantastic tonight. We'll see if they can repeat that effort at home on Sunday night. We'll see what the Blast has in store, and we'll see what kind of adjustments they can make. Coach Kelly, Coach Bascom, and see if they can pull out a victory on Sunday.
Andrew, thank you for a great season from Baltimore. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun down here, and I want to echo Paul's statement. What an unbelievable effort from Sonora with the revenge element that they had in their mind, and they lived up to it. As you can see, they're going through their warm-down period, and they'll make the travel. But just an absolutely excellent effort from them, and for the Blast, a chance to go back and make history, winning 2 in Mexico.
That'll do it from Baltimore. For my broadcast partners, Paul Minnemeyer, Andrew Primrose, and the rest of the Invicta production crew, I'm Gary Stein saying so long from Royal Farms Arena. Our final score, Soles de Sonora 4 and the Blast 2. Games 2 and 3 if necessary. Sunday night in Hermosillo, 6:05 Pacific Time, 9:05 Eastern Time on YouTube via MASL TV. Until then, have a good night from Baltimore. See you next year.